On day 1, I spawned in as a zebra. Wow, I'm so little and I only have 3 hearts. I need to be extra careful. I looked around and saw some antelope. Then I heard someone calling me.
Zozo, you're here. We love you so much.
I turned and saw 2 zebras running over to me. These must be my parents. They nuzzled me with their noses. Oh, I love you guys too. Then out of nowhere, a savannah jeep sped by. A human dressed like a hunter jumped out and started capturing the animals.
Run, Zozo.
My parents leaped in front of me so I could have a chance to escape. I ran away and hid behind some rocks. I watched helplessly as the hunter caught my parents and put them in the back of his jeep. I was too little to do anything and I felt really sad. I barely had any time with my parents and now they're gone. I couldn't just wait around though. It was getting dark and I needed a safe place to stay for the night. I dug a little hole for myself behind the rocks and went to sleep. On day 2, I woke up confused. I was in a hole all alone. Then I remembered my parents and I felt sad again. I climbed out of the hole only to be attacked by some snakes. Oh no! I didn't have any weapons, so I had to dodge and run away. They chased after me, but I started to cross a river and they stopped. Phew, that was close. The water was really strong, but I finally managed to get to the other side. I really need to make some weapons for myself, otherwise I'll be snake food. I went to work gathering some materials to make myself tools. Once I had collected plenty of stone, I put up a crafting table and used it to make a full set of stone tools. It wasn't much, but it made me feel a little bit better. This'll just have to do for now. I figured I shouldn't cross the river again, so I found a spot near a tree and made myself a little shelter for the night. It's okay, Mom and Dad. I'll find you. I promise. And with that, I fell asleep. On day 3, I woke up feeling hopeful. I knew I could find my parents. I just needed a little bit of help. I'm sure someone knew where the hunter kept the animals he captured. I set out across the savannah when I noticed a baboon getting attacked by a boar.
Someone help me!
The baboon screamed and tried to run away, but the boar was too much for him. I'll help you! I jumped into action, distracting the boar while the baboon attacked. We managed to defeat him, and we jumped for joy. Not bad for the little guys. Hey, I'm Zozo. What's your name?
I'm Barry. Thanks for saving my life. I owe you one.
No problem. Hey, do you know where I can find the hunter that keeps trapping animals? He got my parents, and I could use some help getting them out.
I can try. The hunter caught my family too. I followed him to his base, but it's basically impossible to get inside. Maybe we can do it together?
Sounds like a plan. But first, we should rest up. You can come live at my hut with me if you want. It'll be safe there.
That sounds great.
Barry and I headed back to my house, and I made him a little hut right next to mine. It was small, but it was better than living in a hole. Good night, Barry.
Good night, Zozo.
On days 4 to 5, Barry and I made some adjustments. We set up a perimeter to our base and made our huts a little bit bigger. We also found some seeds so we could plant some food. It was actually starting to feel a little bit more like a home.
Let's go hunt a hunter.
Barry tried to look scary as he said it, but it sounded a little silly.
Too much?
Yeah, too much. He shrugged and we headed out. We passed through the desert and made our way further into the jungle. We crouched down as we approached the hunter's fort. It was huge, but I didn't see any guards. Just then, a bunch of baboons came running toward us. At first we thought they were going to be friendly, but then they started to attack us. Oh no, Barry, we need to run! We ran as fast as we could and eventually the baboons stopped chasing us. Why were those baboons attacking us? We're not the bad guys.
I think the hunter can control the animals somehow. He wants us to be his servants.
That's terrible. Were any of those baboons your family?
No, I didn't recognize them. My family must be inside somewhere.
We started to head home so we could reassess our situation when we saw a human up ahead. Oh no, it's another human. He's probably working with the hunter. We started to run away, but he called out to us.
Hello, friends. No need to run. All I want is to take your picture.
He held up his camera. He seemed harmless enough and he approached us slowly.
My name is Patrick. Could I perhaps stay with you so I can get some good shots?
Sure. You'll be safer with us than out by yourself. Maybe you can help us get our families back from the hunter. Patrick took our picture.
I would be happy to help you. The more animals, the more pictures.
Then he showed us one of his pictures. We went home and helped Patrick to build a little house for himself. He seemed to really love it and took pictures of everything. Eventually, we all got tired and went to sleep. On days 6 to 8, I woke up to Patrick taking pictures of me.
Beautiful. Even when you are drooling, you look great.
He printed out the picture on his Polaroid.
Here, take a look.
I looked at the picture. It had me drooling, along with some weird symbols underneath. Maybe it's a weird human thing. Patrick left to go take pictures of the rocks when Barry walked in. I don't know if we can do this, Barry. We are just a small zebra, a baboon, and a very odd human. We are going to need a lot more help in order to free our families.
I think I know someone who could help. It'll take a little while to get there, but he's our best shot.
All right, let's go. We headed out, leaving Patrick to keep watch of the base. We made our way across the savannah. It was really hot, but we finally made it to an oasis with a watering hole and trees. There were elephants everywhere.
He's over there. He doesn't like strangers. Let me talk to him first.
Barry turned toward a large tree where an elephant was sitting on a rug. Barry walked over and chatted with him for a minute before waving me over.
Welcome, my young friend. What is it you seek?
We want to rescue our families from the hunter. He has captured a lot of innocent animals and he needs to be stopped. The elephant nodded.
Yes, I know the perfect artifact that will help you. It is a necklace with the tooth of a lion. It has been lost, but rumor has it that it is buried at the base of a secret underground waterfall. Find the waterfall and you'll find your necklace.
How is a necklace going to help us?
Yes, it has the power to give you the strength of 10 men, or in your case, zebras.
Oh wow, thanks so much. Barry and I were much happier as we went home. We could finally defeat the hunter. On days 9 to 10, we arrived back at the base. Patrick was taking pictures of some hippos he had befriended.
Wow, what magnificent creatures!
We talked to the hippos and found out that the hunter had taken some of their family too. We offered to make them a little enclosure in our base. After finishing up, they were very happy and thanked us for taking them in. I went out to go gather some materials and maybe locate the waterfall. I went back to the river because maybe the waterfall was close by. I crossed the river and saw the snakes that I had met before. Get back, you noodles! I smacked them and was able to defeat all of them. I really have gotten stronger. Maybe it won't be so hard to beat the hunter after all. On days 11 to 12, I kept exploring. I found a rock formation and inside of it was a cavern. I found some more materials and decided to go a little bit deeper. As I went down further, I was suddenly attacked by some nasty spiders. Oh, gross, none of that! I got a few hits in, but I defeated them all pretty quickly. It was then that I felt a surge of power and I transformed into a bigger zebra. Whoa, I feel amazing. I feel like I can take on anything. I continued down the cavern, hoping to find the waterfall, but there was nothing. I felt sad about that, but at least I'm stronger now. I made my way out of the cavern and headed back to the base. On days 13 to 15, I was making my way back to the base when the hunter drove by in his Jeep.
I'll be back for you, Zozo, right after I collect your little friends.
I was so confused. How did he know my name? What did he mean about my friends? He drove away really fast and I tried to catch up, but it was hopeless. By the time I got back to the base, I realized what the hunter meant. All of my friends were gone. He must have captured all of them, but how did he get in? I looked around and found Patrick's camera on the ground. The last picture he took was of the hunter shaking hands with Barry. Traitor! Barry sold us out! I was so tired from my journey that I barely made it to my bed before I fell asleep. On days 16 to 19, I woke up discouraged. I figured I needed to move my base, so I went about collecting some stuff. I was looking around the hippo enclosure when I noticed Patrick hiding behind a rock. Patrick, you're okay.
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just so grateful that I was able to hide before that awful hunter took everyone away. I can't believe Barry made a deal with him.
I know, it's crazy. But hey, I found your camera. I thought you might want it back. Patrick was so happy, he took a bunch of pictures of me. Then we went to scout out a new spot for our base. We worked on clearing out an area near some trees and started to build from the ground up. I built everything I thought we could need, and even a little bit of extra just to keep us safe. I sure hoped no one would attack us because it was a lot of hard work. Soon, everything was complete. Patrick, we need to do all that we can to protect the animals on the savannah. I think we should build some sort of statue that will help them know that they can come here for refuge.
I think that's a great idea, Zozo.
We started to gather some supplies and built the base of the statue. Can you tell what it might be? On days 20 to 22, Patrick and I went looking for the underground waterfall that the elephant had told us about. We followed the river up a little ways before running into a pack of lions. We didn't know if they were friendly or not, so we approached slowly. Hello, have you seen any underground waterfalls anywhere? The lions seemed nice enough, but they were looking confused.
Waterfall? Why are you looking for a waterfall?
We were told by a wise elephant that we could find a special necklace buried at the base of the underground waterfall. It's actually a lion's tooth. The lions looked even more confused.
There is no such thing. If anyone would know, it would be us.
Now it was my turn to be confused. Then I realized it was the elephant that told me about the necklace. An elephant that Barry knew. It must have been all made up. Come on, Patrick, we need to go find that elephant and see what he actually knows. Patrick finished taking pictures of the lions, and we headed to the oasis. Once we arrived, we noticed that all of the elephants were gone. Oh no, what are we going to do?
I think I actually hear something over there.
Patrick pointed to a large rock formation, and sure enough, an elephant was hiding. It was the elephant we had talked to before. Hey you, we need some answers. The elephant trembled. He actually looked pretty scared.
Please don't hurt me. My family was captured by that awful hunter. Barry told me if I lied to you, the elephants would be safe. He's a traitor.
The elephant looked really shaken up. I felt bad for him. I understand how you feel. Barry betrayed us too, and now the hunter has our friends and my parents. But if you come with us, you can have a safe home at our base. The elephant perked up.
Oh, thank you. I would love to come with you.
Of course. I don't think I know your name though. I'm Zozo.
I'm Neville.
Nice to meet you, Neville. We'll take care of you.
We headed back to the base and made it home just in time for the sun to set. On days 23 to 26, I went to make some improvements to our base. I added some new fencing, a large garden, and fixed up a place for the elephant to stay. He seemed pretty happy about it, but I was feeling a little discouraged.
What's wrong, Zozo? You've done a great job with the base. No way anyone is going to get inside.
It's not that. I'm just upset that the lion's tooth necklace isn't real. It was my only hope to get my parents and friends back.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Zozo, but guess what? The necklace is real.
What? Then you didn't lie to us. We still have a chance to save my family.
Well, it is real. It's just not a lion's tooth necklace. It's a special totem. It has the ability to turn you invisible, but it only works on those with pure intentions.
That's perfect. It's going to be easy now.
I guess I should also mention, the totem is guarded by a crocodile. Nobody can get past him.
Between the three of us, I'm sure we can get the totem. Using the materials I had on hand, I made some weapons and armor for the whole team. Then I went ahead and passed them out to everyone. We were ready to fight. We locked the base up and headed out towards the river. On days 27 to 31, Patrick, Neville, and I went looking for the crocodile. We passed a group of hogs on the way, and they tried to attack Patrick.
Hey, I only wanted a picture.
He tried to run away, but they kept getting hits on him. Neville and I charged at them, and after a minute, we defeated all of them. Great job, Neville. No way is the crocodile going to get us. We started to head out when we noticed Patrick wasn't following. He was looking down at his feet. Hey, are you okay, Patrick?
I just feel pretty sad. All I've done is hide or run away. I couldn't even save any of our friends earlier, and it just makes me feel useless.
You're not useless, Patrick. You're a friend, and you've helped more than you know. We all have different strengths. Just use your strengths. Patrick seemed cheered up by this and nodded his head.
Thanks, Zozo. You really are a good friend.
Patrick hugged me, and then Neville hugged us. It was a little squished, but it was a nice little moment. Neville even managed to take a selfie with Patrick's camera. Nice! We kept trekking through the savannah, all feeling a little bit better about ourselves. On days 32 to 35, we finally reached a watering hole.
This is the watering hole, but I don't see the crocodile.
I looked around, and sure enough, it looked empty. Maybe he went to go hunt somewhere else. When all of a sudden, there was a commotion. I felt something try to grab me, and I ran out as fast as I could. Whoa, that was close. It was the crocodile, all right. He was just super stealthy.
How dare you disturb me? Can't you see I'm resting?
We didn't mean to disturb you. We just want the totem you were guarding.
And why would I give it to you?
There was a hunter driving through the savannah, capturing innocent animals. He's captured our family and friends. We only want the totem so we can defeat him.
How do I know you deserve it? You could just be lying to me.
Well, if I didn't deserve it, then it wouldn't work anyway, right? The crocodile paused.
I suppose that is true, but I can't just let you take it. You have to earn it. Bring me the golden apples off of the tree on that hill, then you can have the totem.
The crocodile pointed toward the hill. On top was a small tree. All right, we'll do it for you.
Not all of you, only you, little zebra. Prove to me that you are worthy.
I wasn't sure I could do it myself, but I had to try. A lot of animals were counting on me. Okay, I'll go. I headed up the hill to retrieve the golden apples. On days 36 to 39, I made my way up the hill. But it wasn't just a hill, it was a mountain. Wow, this is a lot taller than I thought. I finally made it to the top and saw the apple tree. Whoa, that tree is bigger than I thought too. How was I going to reach all those apples? Just then, a monkey with a fancy robe appeared right in front of me.
Hello, traveler. Come to retrieve some apples, yes?
Yes, the crocodile down the mountain needs them.
Yes. It's been a while since he has sent someone up here to retrieve some. The last wasn't so lucky.
What the heck does that mean?
I shall present a scenario to you, and then you must answer a question. Answer correctly, and the apples are yours. Answer incorrectly, and you will die.
Wait, die? Are you serious?
Here is the scenario. Two monkeys are traveling together down the bank of the river when they see a banana lying on the ground. It seems to be a normal banana. They look across the river and see a tree. In the tree is a third monkey. He seems to be gathering bananas. One of the traveling monkeys says to his friend that they should take the banana on the ground, since the monkey in the tree is already harvesting bananas. How should the friend respond?
I thought about it for a moment. They shouldn't take the banana. It's not theirs to take. The monkey nodded and smiled.
You are correct, young zebra. In fact, if they had taken the banana, they would have taken the only good banana, since the ones being gathered were indeed rotten. They would have taken the only banana that the third monkey could have found for days. He would have starved if he didn't have that banana. These are yours for the taking.
Wow, thank you.
Stay true to yourself and remember what is most important.
I thanked him again and he disappeared, along with the tree. Whoa, where did they go? I didn't know, but I didn't want the apples to disappear too. I hurried to collect them before heading down the mountain. On days 40 to 43, I arrived at the base of the mountain. My friends had set up a little camp next to the watering hole. I went over to the watering hole where the crocodile was barely visible. I retrieved the golden apples, just like you asked.
You've done well.
The crocodile submerged for a moment before returning with a rock in his mouth.
Use it well, young zebra. You have earned it.
On the outside of the rock were those strange symbols, just like the ones in the picture Patrick took of me. Maybe it wasn't just a human thing after all. I twisted open the rock and saw the totem. There it is. I better hurry back to the camp. As I arrived back to the camp, Patrick tried to take a picture of me, but I immediately activated the totem and turned invisible.
Whoa, Zozo, where did you go?
He took a picture of nothing because I was gone. I walked behind him and then deactivated the totem. I'm right here, Patrick.
Wow, that's amazing. That hunter doesn't stand a chance.
On days 44 to 49, we traveled back to the base. Patrick and Neville went to the river while I went to look for some food. We had been walking a long time and needed a rest. We even found some nearby plants we could eat. All of a sudden, a horde of boars came out from behind the plants. Oh, sorry, are these your plants? Without a moment's hesitation, they started to attack me. Hey, I just wanted some food. You don't need to hurt me. I managed to dodge and defeat all of them by myself. Just then, I felt a surge of power, and I leveled up into an adult zebra. Wow, I'm a lot bigger now. I noticed that I had more hearts, too. I felt like I was the strongest zebra in the world. Taking down that hunter was going to be super easy. I went back to my friends, and we talked about our plans. I think we should continue to build our statue once we get back, and then gather some supplies for better weapons.
That's a great idea, Zozo. You can teach me to fight better so I can help you.
Yeah, we'd love to help with the statue. We need as many animals as possible to know that they have a safe place to stay.
I agreed, and we headed the rest of the way back to the base. On days 50 to 53, we arrived at the base. Using more of our supplies, Patrick, Neville, and I got to work on the next part of the statue. It was really starting to come along. Can you guess what it is now? It was looking really good, so we took a break and tried to work on our base. We set up some new enclosures just in case we had more animals come by. We felt really good about our progress when we heard a knock at the door. I looked outside, and there were a bunch of lions. Hey, you're the lions we met earlier.
Yes, hello. We saw your statue and wanted to know if we could stay here. Some of our friends were taken by the hunter, and we have nowhere else to go. Could we stay here with you?
Of course. We opened the door and the lions sauntered in. We showed them one of the enclosures we built, and they loved it. They immediately made themselves at home.
Thank you so much. We would love to give you a gift as a token of our appreciation.
One of the lions gave me some diamonds and gold as a present. Wow, this is incredible. Thank you so much. I immediately began working with the diamonds at my crafting table and made myself some better armor. Wow, this is amazing. That night, we all gathered around the campfire and had a fun time. Patrick even tried to juggle for us. It was a good way to end the night. On days 54 to 57, I woke up to someone screaming. I raced out of my house to find animals running around like crazy. I noticed that the base's front door was open and there were hyenas running around. Oh no, we've got to get them out of here. The lions and I were able to defeat some of them and drive the rest of them away. Phew, that was close. But how did they get in? One of the lions stepped forward, his head hung low.
I am so sorry, Zozo. I went out during the night to do some hunting, and I must have forgotten to close the door all the way when I came back in. You can kick me out if you want to. I deserve it.
He looked so upset, but I knew it was an accident. It's okay. Nobody got hurt and nothing was taken, so we are okay. He seemed relieved, and we all headed back to our houses. When I walked inside, it looked like one of my chests had been opened. I ran over and I realized my totem of invisibility was gone. Oh no! Neville heard me from outside and peeked in.
Is everything okay, Zozo?
No, my totem is gone. Those hyenas must have taken it.
Oh no, we need to get it back, and fast.
We told Patrick what had happened, and he agreed to come with us to find the hyenas.
I think I might even know where they live. I saw them once near a cavern, and I tried to take a picture, but they tried to eat me, so I ran away.
That's awesome, Patrick. Not the almost getting eaten part, the knowing where to go part. He nodded and smiled.
I know.
I talked to the lions before we left and told them to let in any other animals that needed help. They agreed, and we headed toward the cavern to retrieve my totem. On days 58 to 62, we traveled toward the cavern that Patrick told us about. We ran into some dagoos on the way and told them to go to our base if they wanted a safe place to stay. They happily agreed. We also ran into some ostriches and some frogs. We extended the same invite to them as the other animals, and they accepted. Wow, I hope we have enough space for everybody. The whole savannah wouldn't be able to fit in our base, but we could sure try. We kept traveling and gathered some food and seeds as we went. We were going to have a lot more mouths to feed when we got back. We finally arrived at the cavern, but it looked empty.
Are you sure this is the right place, Patrick?
Yes, see, look.
I picked up something off the ground in the middle of some tall grass.
This is the lens that I dropped before. I was too scared to come back for it, so I just left it.
We continued into the cavern, which eventually turned into a large underground cave. We peered over a rock and saw the hyenas down below. There were a ton of them. Some of them were just lounging around, but some were fighting over something. I took a closer look and realized it was my totem. Hey, they have my totem. I whispered to my friends and motioned toward the group of hyenas.
There are so many of them. How are we ever going to get your totem back?
I thought for a minute and then came up with a plan. I whispered it to my friends and we got into our positions. 1, 2, 3, now! Patrick started flashing his camera from the opening of the tunnel. The hyenas all saw the lights and went running towards Patrick. He hurried and hid behind a rock by the opening as all the hyenas came rushing out. Neville came out from behind his rock and tried to roll a large stone in front of the entryway. I ran out from behind my rock and went down to grab the totem that the hyenas had dropped in the chaos. Got it! I ran up to see Neville struggling with the rock. The hyenas were trying to push it back open.
Zozo, can you turn us invisible? Then we can sneak out.
There's too many of them. Even if we're invisible, they'll bump into us and find us.
Go and defeat the hunter, Zozo. Make sure all the animals are safe.
Neville, what are you saying? Don't do it! Neville then pushed the rock out of the way and ran outside. No, Neville! Neville ran outside as the hyenas chased him, getting hits in. There was no way he was going to survive. I heard and had Patrick climb on my back, and then I activated the totem. We both disappeared, and we ran. We watched as Neville was defeated. We had to get out of there. We had no choice but to leave. On day 63 to 66, we arrived back at the base. Patrick and I were very sad that Neville was gone, but we were going to make sure his sacrifice wasn't in vain. I had my totem, and there was no way I was going to let anyone steal it again. I made an even better safe and hid that in a secret spot in my room. Nobody would ever find it here. We helped all the animals in their new homes and planted some more food in the garden. We went to work on the statue, but noticed it was already finished. Who finished the statue?
We did.
The lions came up to me and all bowed at my feet.
We owe you our lives, young zebra. We hope you accept our work on your statue as a way to show our gratitude.
Wow, it's not every day that the king of the savannah bows to you. Thank you, but I'm not the true hero. Neville sacrificed himself so that I could get the totem back. You should be honoring him.
Then we shall honor our fallen friend and build a statue of him as well.
We all worked together and made a statue of Neville standing on the landing of our other statue. He was raising his trunk in triumph. It was perfect, and I knew Neville would have liked it. On day 67 to 70, I woke up to Patrick taking pictures of me again.
Wonderful.
Patrick, not now. I'm trying to sleep.
Sorry, but I had a thought, Zozo. What if the totem gets stolen again? Or even lost while we are inside the base? We definitely need a backup plan. We should scout out the base, just in case.
That's a really good idea, Patrick.
Perfect. I'll meet you outside. Don't forget your totem, just in case.
He left, and I looked toward my safe. I actually felt safer with it here, so I didn't bring it. I would tell him later. We gathered the animals to let them know we were leaving. We told them that if any animals came by, they were more than welcome to stay, unless they were hyenas. And don't forget to shut the door all the way. One of the lions looked away in embarrassment, but he understood. All right, we will be back in time to make some final preparations. Then we will get our friends and families back. Everyone cheered to that, and we took off. On the way there, Patrick took some pictures while I gathered some seeds. We also ran into some small monkeys. We told them where our base was, and they started to head that way. It felt good to know that we were helping. On days 71 to 74, Patrick and I snuck around to the same spot where Barry and I had been earlier. We looked around the base, and it seemed bigger than the last time.
I can't believe it.
I looked where Patrick was looking, and I saw Barry. It looked like he had gotten bigger. There were other baboons there, and Barry seemed to be bossing them around. He sold us out so he could be the boss of the baboons?
Well, I guess so.
I still couldn't believe it. Barry had been my friend, and he seemed genuinely interested in helping me.
Hey, Zozo, I'm glad you are my friend.
Thanks, Patrick. Where did that come from?
I was just thinking, and you've been really awesome to me. Just wanted to thank you for everything you've done.
Then Patrick hugged me. Thanks, Patrick. All of a sudden, we were surrounded by baboons. How did I not even notice?
Right on time.
I looked and I saw Barry looking down at us. We don't want to fight you, Barry.
Well, that's funny, because I do want to fight you.
Barry swung his arm and smacked Patrick. No, stop it.
As soon as you give me the totem.
What? The lion's tooth necklace? It doesn't exist. You know that.
No, Zozo, the totem of invisibility that you got.
What? How did you find out about that?
I have friends on the inside.
All of a sudden, Patrick got up and walked over to Barry. No, Patrick, you're working for him? Why?
I had to, Zozo. After our base was attacked the first time, Barry told me to keep my eye on you. He threatened to hurt you if I didn't help him. The hunter wanted more animals, and they told me to gather them all in a safe place so they could collect them later.
How have you even been talking?
I've been sneaking out at night. I told them about the totem a few days ago. The lions thought they had left the door open, but it was me. It's all my fault. Neville is gone.
Patrick hung his head down low. He looked so sad. Barry hit Patrick again.
Enough, you. Now, Zozo, give me what I want, and maybe I won't hurt Patrick again.
I don't have the totem with me.
What? Why didn't you bring it?
I thought it'd be safer at the base. Why do you need it anyway, Barry?
Why do you think? The hunter will be able to turn invisible and trap any animal he pleases, and I'll be its right-hand man, or baboon, king of the monkeys.
It won't even work for you, Barry. It only works for the pure of heart. I had to earn it.
So you say. I think you just think you're better than me.
He hit Patrick again. Stop it. I'll take you to our base.
That's just what I wanted to hear. Move it.
On day 75 to 78, we slowly traveled back to the base. Patrick and I were bound and dragged behind the other baboons. I wondered why they even agreed to help Barry. I tried to talk to one of them. Psst, hey, we can get you out of here and you can live with us. You'll be safe there. The monkey looked at me sadly.
We'll never be safe, not with the hunter and Barry around. It isn't the worst, actually. The hunter gives us food and a place to sleep, but we are basically his servants. We can't leave because they'll just find us again.
I felt really bad for the monkey, but we couldn't give up now. We can defeat them. If you help us escape, we can all work together. The monkey thought about it for a second, but then Barry started yelling.
Hey, no talking to the prisoners.
He hit the sad monkey, who immediately ran up ahead, pulling me along. Well, at least I tried. We soon stopped at a water pond to rest. I walked over to Patrick. He wouldn't even look at me. Patrick, I know why you did all of this, and I don't hate you. He looked at me.
Really?
Yeah, you were just trying to protect me, but I'm not giving up. We will defeat Barry and the hunter if it's the last thing I do. Patrick looked back down at his feet and sighed.
I don't know, Zozo. We are kind of in a sticky situation.
I think maybe we can get the baboons on our side. All of a sudden, Barry hit me.
No talking, prisoner. Keep moving.
I tried to formulate a plan the rest of the way. At this point, we just had to hope for a miracle. animal. On day 79 to 84, we were getting closer to the base. Suddenly, Barry stopped.
Bring Zozo forward.
The sad baboon brought me closer to Barry, still keeping me bound.
Zozo, you will go in and retrieve the totem. You will then tell all the animals to gather outside for a meeting. You won't tell them about us, or I will destroy Patrick.
I'll do it. Just don't hurt him again. I made my way to the base and went inside. A few animals greeted me and I quickly said hello, then walked away. I went to my house and opened the safe. The totem was still inside. I grabbed it and went back to the middle of the base. Everyone, I need your attention. Patrick and I have an important announcement to make, but we need you to come outside to see. The animals all gathered together and we started to go outside. I felt so bad, but I hoped that maybe we could defeat the baboons and Barry together. As we walked out, I didn't see anyone. Where did they go? Then the baboons and Barry jumped down from the trees. They ambushed us and my friends started to panic.
Zozo!
It's okay, I'll handle this. I was just about to attack one of the baboons when all of a sudden they surrounded Barry.
Wait, what? What are you doing, you fools? Capture them!
Stay down!
It was the baboon that I had talked to. I guess he had gotten the other baboons to agree to fight. Hey, you're helping us.
We want our freedom back, and you seem like a capable guy. We'll help you.
Perfect. Wait, where's Patrick? I heard Barry laugh.
It's too late for your friend, Zozo. He's gone.
No! I ran further into the trees. I looked around and I finally found Patrick. He was sitting up against a rock. He didn't look good at all.
Hey, buddy, did we win?
This one, yeah, but we still need you for another fight. Patrick laughed weakly.
I'll try my hardest, but I'll need some help.
Of course. I helped him up and let him ride on my back as we slowly made our way back to the base. We got back to the clearing, but we didn't see Barry anywhere. Where's Barry? The animals all looked at each other.
I thought you were watching him.
Me? I don't even know who that guy is.
The animals all grumbled and pointed at each other. I shook my head. It doesn't matter. He's gone now.
Wait, look!
Barry had gone into our base. On days 85 to 89, I chased after Barry. He had some flint and steel and was going to light our base on fire. Barry, stop! This is crazy!
You can't stop me, Zozo. I'm going to be king of the monkeys if it's the last thing I do.
Strange. That's what I was thinking earlier, but about my friends. Barry, stop. It isn't too late for you to change. Why would you want to be king of the monkeys when you can be a friend to all animals?
You sound like a hippie.
What's a hippie?
Never mind. I'm done talking.
Barry set the side of the ostrich enclosure on fire when all of a sudden a big splash of water rained down on him, extinguishing the fire. I looked up and saw the water had come from the trunk of the Neville statue.
We added a water feature while you were gone.
One of the lions was pressing a button on the side of the wall. What absolutely perfect timing. I walked towards Barry. This is your last chance, Barry. Come join us or I'll have to defeat you. He looked so angry.
No, I will be king of the monkeys. I will.
All of a sudden, he slumped down and started to cry. I stood there, shocked.
I don't want to be king of the monkeys. Honestly, I just wanted some friends.
Well, to be fair, you have a weird way of showing it. I still didn't trust him completely, but I helped him up. It's okay, Barry. You have a home here. On days 90 to 94, Barry moved back in. Some of the animals weren't too happy about it, but he tried his hardest to make it up to them. He made some cool improvements to people's houses, the base, and even helped Patrick. He seemed to really feel bad about what he had done, but he was making it better. Later, he came up to me.
Zozo, I need to tell you something about the hunter's base.
Okay, what is it?
I know a secret way I can sneak into his base around the side.
Oh, awesome! So you can open the door.
It's not that simple. The controls for the gate are in his private room.
Ah, I see. I thought for a moment. You need to go back and pretend to still work with him. You need to betray him now.
What if he catches me while I'm trying to do this?
He won't. I'll be sure to protect you.
Okay, I trust you, Zozo.
On days 95 to 97, we all made our preparations. We forged armor and swords for everyone, just in case.
No, Zozo, I'm too weak still. I need to stay here.
But Patrick, I need you. We've come this far together, and I need you there with me.
He can ride on my back.
One of the lions bowed to Patrick.
I shall carry you, and I will promise your safety, good friend.
Patrick agreed. I'm proud of all of you. Today, we are going to rescue our families and our friends. The savannah will be free again. Everyone cheered, and we headed out to the hunter's base. On day 98, we arrived at the hunter's base. It looked the same as usual, which was good. Barry came up to me. All right, Barry, this is your cue. He looked nervous. It'll be fine. You remember the signal, right? He nodded.
Thanks, Zozo. You're a good friend.
He headed toward the side of the base and disappeared around the corner. We waited a few minutes, and then we heard a loud monkey call. That was our signal to go. Then we saw the front gate start to open. Good job, Barry. We charged through the front gate and into the courtyard. As we started looking around, I even saw my parents.
Zozo!
Mom, Dad, we're here to rescue you. My friend started working on getting the cages open while I headed upstairs. On day 99, I found the lair of the hunter. He had all sorts of animal pelts all over the place and even more guns. Sheesh, this place gave me the creeps.
I knew we would meet again, young zebra.
I turned around, ready to attack. The hunter was there, but he was holding Barry hostage. Give me my friend back, Hunter.
Oh, you mean this traitor? I don't think so. I think instead I'll just add him to my collection.
He waved his gun around the room full of pelts. No! I activated the totem and disappeared. I knocked the hunter away from Barry and told him to run. Then I charged the hunter. He blindly shot around the room, but he had no idea where I was. Barry wasn't so lucky though, and got hit as he made his escape.
That's a cheap move, Zebra. Disappearing so I can't see ya.
Says the guy who captures animals and then enslaves them. He got a few lucky shots in, but I was able to deliver the final blow. I unequipped the totem and ran over to Barry. He had been hit and he looked pretty bad. Oh no, Barry, I'm so sorry. I promised I would keep you safe.
It's okay, Zozo. I did what I needed to do. Thanks for being my friend.
Barry put his head down and was gone. He had made many mistakes, but in the end, chose to do the right thing. On day 100, I felt a surge of power, and I leveled up into a large adult zebra. I was stronger than ever, and knew that from now on, I could protect all of the animals in the savannah. My friends had figured out how to open the cage doors, freeing all of the animals from the hunter's base. I was finally able to talk to my parents. It was a beautiful reunion. We were all free at last. If you want to see what I'll do next, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Thanks for watching. On day 1, I spawned in as a kangaroo. Hoo-ha, I'm a tiny little kangaroo. Look how bouncy I am. I was so busy bouncing, I barely noticed the little Tasmanian devil that started to attack me. Back away. I swung my fist and punched that little baby right out of here. Hot dang, I'm tiny, but I can pack a punch. I took a look around for some trees to start my adventures when a much bigger Tasmanian devil came out. Uh-oh, looks like I made the dad angry. I gotta hop on out of here. I ran away as the Tasmanian devil looked angrily on. If I could find my kangaroo family, I knew I would be safe. As I hopped around, I could see I was all alone, so I made myself a simple shelter to spend the night. Maybe tomorrow I can find my family. On day 2, I headed back over to where I spawned in and saw the Tasmanian devil was nowhere to be seen. Looks like the coast is clear. Let's get that wood. I started punching the trees and had soon gathered a good amount of wood. Using the wood, I managed to make myself some wood tools that would come in handy later. Turned out that later was now, as a snake came out of nowhere and attacked. Where did you come from? I swung at the snake, hitting him right in the face. It didn't take long, and I was able to take him out. Not bad, my guy. I looked over and saw an emu was watching. Why don't you come over here and let me get a sample of that power? You want to fight me? Just box. Let's go. I didn't see the harm in a little training, so I started swinging. The emu was a good fighter and had clearly been well trained. After a bit of sparring, we stopped. Yeah, you've got some real talent, but you've got lots to learn. Let me introduce you to my trainer. He'll have you becoming a real fighter in no time. I agreed and followed him. As we walked, he introduced himself as Ernie. We soon arrived at an old rundown gym. As we entered inside, I soon saw who his trainer was. It was an old turtle. Master Balboa. I ran into this kangaroo, and I think he's got some real promise. The old turtle looked me up and down. I don't see much here. I won't train him. Oh, come on. Maybe he can help with the silence? Okay, he can stay here. Be ready for training at sunrise. I don't know why this Master Balboa was so hard on me, but I agreed to be trained and went to bed in the gym. On day 3, I was woken up by Master Balboa. Already sleeping in, I see. Beggars can't be choosers. Up. You will start by cleaning this place. I took a look around the gym and saw that there was a lot of work to be done. There was a lot of stuff that needed to be cleared out, and there was a lot of room for improvement. I wonder how long it had been since someone had cleaned this place up. Once I had done a fair bit of cleaning, I decided that I didn't want to be sleeping on the floor anymore, so I made myself a small room for me to sleep in. It wasn't anything fancy, just a place to rest. After I had finished, Master Balboa came up to me. Too good to sleep on the floor, are you? Every student sleeps on the floor and earns his dues. I don't know why you think you are different. I'm not trying to offend anyone. I just thought it might be a little more comfortable. One can never do the uncomfortable from a place of comfort. You do well to remember that strength is forged in the trials of fire. Man, this guy was always speaking in weird sayings. Just then, a mountain tortoise appeared. Uh-oh, this guy looks like he wants to hurt me. Let's get out of here. No, Zozo, this is your fire. Fight him and forge the strength you need to win. Okay, I'll give it a shot. The tortoise was tough. He was really hitting hard and I wasn't feeling confident I could win. That's when I could hear Master Balboa shouting at me. A tortoise's strength doesn't come from the hardness of his shell, but from the will of his heart. What? Don't hit the shell, hit his soft spots. Oh, right. I focused on the tortoise's neck and started landing some good hits. In no time, he was taken out. After he had disappeared, I felt some adrenaline coursing through me and I leveled up into an even stronger kangaroo. I have even more hearts now too. Ernie was really impressed and shouted his encouragement to me. I thought I even saw Master Balboa crack a smile. Just maybe. On days 4 to 5, I found myself facing off with Ernie. My skills had improved, but my emu friend really knew how to fight. As we fought, I asked him some questions. So have you seen any other kangaroos around? I can't be the only one. Ernie didn't say anything, but I could tell he had something to say. Master Balboa spoke up instead. There are many animals who have trained here. One of these animals was a legendary kangaroo. He was one of the greatest fighters to pass through this gym. Even he, among many others, was unable to defeat the buff bear. All have failed. I hate that buff bear. I've seen too many of my friends fall to him. Nothing will stop me from destroying him. Patience, Ernie. Rage is a cancer that can blind even the clearest of vision. Ernie calmed down, but I could still sense his frustration beneath the surface. I felt his anger though. That buff bear was going to pay. On days 6 to 8, I woke up with an idea. If we're really going to take down this buff bear, we're gonna need better training facilities. I think I can help with that. After I had gathered some stone, I was suddenly attacked by the Tasmanian devil for my first day. Joke was on him though. I was even stronger now. Let's see how you like this. I swung my fist and really let him have it. I don't think he was expecting me to be so strong, and I was able to knock him out in no time. Someone bit off more than they could chew. I grabbed a little more sand, then headed back to the base. Now that I had a bunch of materials, I used them to start improvements to the gym. I felt like I had a strong purpose and a clear mind. Master Balboa would be proud of that. After a lot of sweat and hard work, all the improvements were complete, at least for now. On days 9 to 10, Ernie and I were out for a jog. The problem was, Ernie was so much faster than me, he had to keep waiting for me to catch up. He didn't seem to mind though.
What a slowpoke.
I looked over and saw a monkey was watching us. Hey, that's not a very nice thing to say.
You're right. I'm not very nice. I'm nicer than that dump you call a gym, though.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Why do you care? You're not gonna be around much longer anyway.
What do you mean?
My Master Buff Bear is gonna wipe you and all your little friends out soon enough. You're all just a bunch of weaklings.
Buff Bear? You think Buff Bear can beat us? Ernie jumped to the monkey and they started to fight. Yeah, get him, Ernie! The monkey and Ernie were pretty evenly matched, but I believed in Ernie. Just then, someone else came running into the fight. It was the Buff Bear! Ernie, watch out! Ernie was outnumbered. I had to help. Heh. More Balboa students for me to destroy. You guys are pathetic. We were holding on. Buff Bear was strong. I was starting to get worried about Ernie. Stop this at once! Master Balboa had arrived. He seemed to catch us all off guard as everyone stopped fighting. Balboa, crawled out of your shell to train some more weaklings, I see. Bear, your strength is your weakness. Are you two really listening to this old fool? Don't insult him. You're a real jerk. I challenge you to a fight. Ernie? No. Yeah, I'll fight you, little guy. Looks like you better go with your babysitter. You know where to find me. Master Balboa then pulled us away as Buff Bear and his monkey henchmen left. Ernie, I told you your anger could be your downfall. Master Balboa, I've been training so hard. I know I can beat him. Master Balboa didn't seem so sure, but didn't say anything else. If you're gonna go through with this, you'll need all the help you can get. I'll do what I can to help you prepare. On days 11 to 12, I decided to continue doing some upgrades to the gym. Ernie was going to need every advantage, so I made sure to give the gym the improvements it needed to give him the edge. It's going to take more than a nice gym to win this fight, so we better get some upgraded gear. I took off and soon found myself in a forest. I headed into a nearby cave and quickly found some iron. Just what I was looking for. I had collected the iron I needed when suddenly I was attacked by a sunbird. What the? Where did you come from? I tried to hit him, but he was too tough. My health was starting to drain though, so I had to get out of there. I ran off. How could I beat him? Then I had an idea. I climbed up to get higher than the sunbird, then jumped off. Heads up! By doing this, I was able to land the final blow. That's when I saw he had dropped some items. Oh, nice! These will be perfect for the base.
You saved me!
Confused, I turned and saw Platypus was talking to me.
That sunbird wouldn't leave me alone.
Well, he'll leave you alone now, but it is pretty dangerous out here. Do you have a safe place to stay?
No, not really. I'm all alone out here.
Well, why don't you come live at my training gym with me?
Oh, I've always wanted to be stronger. That sounds great.
We headed off for the gym. We soon arrived, and I had a chat with Master Balboa.
Zozo, I'm not running a charity here. You can't just invite anyone you meet to live here.
But he was all alone. I can build him his own place. He won't be a bother. I'm sure of it.
Well, these are dangerous times. Very well.
I quickly got to work putting together a room for the platypus, whose name was Perry. I wasn't sure how much training Master Balboa was going to let him do, but in any case, he would have a place to stay. I also took some time to build myself a crafting area. Once my crafting area was set up, I smelted all the iron I had gathered. With all the iron smelted, I then took all of the iron ingots and used them to make myself a fancy new set of iron tools. I also used them to make myself some iron armor. The iron armor is still a little big for me though, so I'll save it for later. On days 13 to 15, I woke up to a strange noise. We were being attacked by a gang of monkeys. Buff Bear's cronies. We've got to stop them. I jumped into the battle, hitting as many monkeys as I could. I couldn't believe Buff Bear would send a hit squad like this. I was taking some of them out, but they just kept coming. Suddenly, Buff Bear entered, and the fight was really on. Ernie and Master Balboa tried to fight him off, but it looked like they were in real trouble. Then, out of nowhere, I was trapped in a cage. All I could do was watch as Buff Bear attacked my friends. Master Balboa took a hard hit. Ernie was now in danger. This looked like the end for him. No! Oh, wait, it was just a dream. Thank goodness. I was still feeling nervous about it though, so I went to talk to Ernie. I told him about my dream and that I didn't think it'd be a good idea for him to go through with the fight. Ernie just laughed it off, saying I was being paranoid. He was sure he could win the fight. I hope so, but keep an eye out for any funny business. On days 16 to 19, I woke up and saw that Master Balboa and Ernie were already hard at work training. Whoops, Master Balboa isn't going to like that I slept in again. I was still feeling a little nervous about Ernie's fight though, so I went to talk to him about it. He told me that I needed to stop worrying. That's when Master Balboa started to talk to me.
Zozo, enough jibber jabber. remember. You already slept too late. It's time to train.
Yeah, sorry. I had a pretty bad dream. What's on the schedule for today? Master Balboa led us over to a corner of the gym.
There's a spider infestation down there that I don't want to deal with. The two of you can get down there and clean it up. There's more equipment on the way, and we need space for it.
Oh man. Alright, we're on it. Ernie and I broke all the boards, as well as the spider webs. Master Balboa was right. It was a mess down here. We got right to work destroying all of the spiders in our way. I wondered how long they had been down here. I really hope Master Balboa knows what he's doing. This is nasty. Soon enough, the spiders were all cleared out. We then got to work patching up all of the broken sections. This place was in rough shape, but we were sure we could get it looking nice in no time. As we finished, Master Balboa came down to meet us.
Zozo, there's a delivery waiting for us. Go ahead and bring everything down.
I ran upstairs and greeted the delivery man. He handed me the boxes of equipment and I took everything downstairs. Inside of the boxes was a bunch of exercise equipment.
Well, boys, hop to it.
Ernie and I unloaded all of the equipment and got everything set up. There were a lot of good areas to train in now. Just in time, too, because Master Balboa was ready for us.
Time to hit the equipment.
Ernie and I ran around the gym following Master Balboa's instructions. It was a lot of hard work, but Ernie had a big fight ahead, and we really needed to push him to be his best. The new equipment was great, too. I was definitely going to be sore tomorrow. As we finished our workout, I could really feel my heart pumping. Suddenly, I grew into an even bigger kangaroo and gained more hearts. Whoa, I feel great! As we all celebrated my new strength, Perry came down the stairs.
Wow, you've grown. I wanted to find you guys as I know something that might help. There's some powerful boxing gloves at a far-off land that makes the user punch even harder than normal.
It's just what we could use. Perry explained where we needed to go. I told Ernie to keep training, and I would go find the gloves. On days 20 to 22, I headed out to go find the special gloves. Perry told me where to go, but mentioned it was very dangerous. As I got closer, I could see why. This outpost is crawling with desert raiders. This isn't going to be easy. I snuck my way up to the front door as a patrol of raiders walked by. Maybe I could sneak in. I moved further into the base, trying to hide behind things. I'd gotten much bigger though, and that was harder to do. They soon spotted me and attacked. Looks like I'm gonna have to fight my way through this one. There were a lot of raiders, but with my new strength, it wasn't too much of a challenge to knock them out of the way. I had to be careful though, because if I got too cocky, they could easily overrun me with their numbers and take me down. Soon I had fought my way to the top of the base. As I moved to take the power gloves, I heard a noise. A buff raider was looking at me and charged. Bring it on! This guy was no ordinary raider. He was stronger than the others and had a different weapon. As he hit me, I even caught on fire.
Whoa, tone it down, big guy.
The fire hurt, but I had to keep fighting. I couldn't let Ernie down. I kept on punching and hitting until finally I landed the final blow. The power gloves are all mine now. I walked up to the gloves and picked them up. They fit like a glove. As I left the base, another raider tried to attack me, but I punched him so hard he went flying. The other guy simply turned and tried to run away. I've got the power now. As I arrived back at the base, I could see Ernie outside training. I could tell he was feeling a bit nervous. Hey Ernie, are you feeling nervous? I'm here to support you no matter what. There's no shame in calling it off. No, I can't call it off. I've been waiting for this my whole life. All right, if you say so. In any case, I have some good news. I got the power gloves. These should give you a serious leg up. I tossed the gloves over to him, and he was super excited about it. I could tell this really raised his spirits. I was still nervous about him doing the fight, but there was no way I was going to change his mind. On days 23 to 26, it was time for the big fight. We all made our way to the arena and soon arrived. Ernie was in high spirits, and we were feeling pretty good. Maybe he could win this thing after all. As we approached, the monkey from before stopped us.
Hi, you chumps. Buff Bear wants to make this fight a little more interesting.
Oh boy, what's that?
This fight won't be to the death, just until someone gives up. If the emu here wins, which he won't, Master Bear will let any of the captured birds go. But if he loses, he'll be Master Bear's servant for life.
There's something fishy about this, Ernie. I don't think it's a good idea.
Tell your boss I'll take it, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the birds go free.
The monkey chuckled and went to tell his boss. Later, Ernie had stepped into the ring, and we could hear something up above us. Buff Bear had hung cages all around the arena, cages that were filled with all of Ernie's friends. This guy was a sicko. An announcer stepped into the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another Rumble Fantastical! In the red corner, we have the powerful, the mighty, the undefeated Buff Bear!
The crowd went absolutely nuts with cheering. He was definitely going to have the home field advantage.
And in the blue corner is an emu.
The announcer walked off. You got this, Ernie.
Make us proud, son.
There was a ding, and the fight was on. Ernie and Buff Bear jumped at each other. They were both landing some heavy hits. Come on, Ernie, show him who's boss. Ernie was swinging his hardest, and it looked like he was actually winning. I bet Buff Bear wasn't expecting those power gloves.
What's wrong, Bear? Scared you finally met your end?
Ew, I guess I'll start trying now.
Buff Bear started hitting even harder than before. He wasn't bluffing. He had just been toying with Ernie. Ernie, watch out! Buff Bear was really landing blows now. All Ernie could do was try to defend, but it was no use. This fight wasn't going to last much longer.
Okay, I yield. You win. I'll be your servant.
please. I have enough servants. You think I'm not going to give my friends a good show?
No, you made a deal.
Oops, guess I lied.
Ernie, watch out! Buff Bear swung his claws and destroyed Ernie for good.
No!
The crowd went wild as Buff Bear celebrated with them. Oh, let's get him!
No, Zozo, I can't lose you too. Quick, grab the gloves and let's get out of here.
I jumped into the arena and collected the power gloves. Master Balboa and I got out of there as fast as we could. On days 27 to 31, we had made it back to the gym. I couldn't believe Ernie was gone. We'd only known each other for a short time, but it felt like we had become brothers. I went outside and saw Master Balboa looking off into the distance. We'll get our revenge on Buff Bear. I know it. Master Balboa sighed.
Zozo, it is impossible. I can't keep letting this cycle repeat itself. Ernie said the same thing to me when our last student was defeated, and that student said the same thing when we lost the one before. I am a failure as a teacher. I should just close up the gym and be done.
No, you can't do that. I've learned so much from you, and I know I have much more to learn. If you're gone, it will be like I've lost everyone. Master Balboa thought about it for a moment.
Fine, we can continue, but you must promise you won't challenge that bear. Training is for the strengthening of the self, not the domination of others.
I smiled. He was back to himself. I promised to train for my own betterment, not for the destruction of others. I meant what I said, but there was something inside of me that was telling me I needed to avenge Ernie. I didn't feel like I needed to mention that to Master Balboa though, so I changed the subject. I think we should do something to honor Ernie, and I know just what to do. Using some of the supplies from the gym, I got to work building a statue. I had a special idea in mind, and I think you'll like it when I'm done. It wasn't too much longer, and the first part of the statue was complete. On days 32 to 35, I went to have a chat with Perry. Even if we weren't going to challenge the Buff Bear and his monkeys, we needed to be strong enough to defend ourselves. Perry said he was ready to begin training, and I decided it would be good to go and try to recruit more animals. I headed out into the land and soon came across an abandoned farm. I didn't see anyone, so I decided to go ahead and grab some of the nearby crops. As I was finishing up, I heard a cry in the distance. What was that? The sound got closer. That's when I saw a baby pig was under attack by a group of cougars.
Help me, help me!
I charged in, punching the cougars. Leave him alone! The cougars must have been so hungry, they didn't even pay attention to me. The poor little piggy was really in trouble. I took a few swings and soon, all of the cougars were gone. Hey there, buddy. Are you okay?
Yes, but no. This was my family's farm. My family was captured and taken away by the henchmen of Buff Bear. I was next. Thank goodness you came along.
Happy to help, but it's not safe out here. Please, come stay at my gym with me and my friends. You'll be much safer there. Pig was thrilled at this idea. Oh, and his name was Wilbur. On days 36 to 39, Wilbur and I had arrived back at the base. I brought him inside and introduced him to Perry, who was hard at work training on a dummy. Perry, I'd like you to meet Wilbur. He's going to be staying with us, and I thought he'd make for a great training partner. Perry and Wilbur started chatting and hit it off right away. Then they ran off to go do some training. While they were doing that, I decided to go outside and work on the farm. Using the crops I had collected, I planted everything to give us a nice food supply. With the farm set up, I then got right to work building Wilbur his own room. The poor guy was missing his family, but at least we could give him a home here in the meantime. Once the room was complete, I headed back to the ring to guide Perry and Wilbur in a practice fight. The two of them weren't very strong yet, but we would get them there. Master Balboa came over.
Ah, and who do we have here?
I introduced Wilbur to Master Balboa, who seemed happy to see him there. He didn't seem to be quite as strict as he was when I first arrived.
But remember, the things you learn here are for your defense only, not for attacking others. Speaking of which, I have something to share with you, Zozo.
What is it?
If we are to be prepared for an attack, we must have every advantage available to us. There is a powerful defensive item that you need to find.
Master Balboa then explained the direction I needed to go. He wasn't sure of its exact location, but another animal in the area may have heard of it. I set off right away. On days 40 to 43, I was still traveling across the land toward the special item. Off in the distance, I could see a watering hole. Oh, perfect, I could use a drink. As I got closer though, I was stopped by a gazelle.
Hang on, you can't go over there.
Why not?
Don't you see that lion? He attacks anyone who tries to drink. He's a real jerk.
A real jerk, huh? I've got a thing for getting rid of jerks.
Well, if you can get rid of them, I'll give you something good.
Sounds like a deal. Hang on a second. I hopped over to the lion. Without a word, he attacked. Wow, they weren't joking. You are a jerk. This guy was tough, but he had no training. His fighting style was messy, and he just tried to swing mindlessly at me. I bobbed and weaved, landing blows. He still got some hits in, but in the end, I managed to take him out.
You did it. Wow, that was really impressive. Here, take this.
The gazelle tossed out a specialized pickaxe. As I looked closer, I could see it was enchanted with efficiency and fortune. Whoa, this is a massive help. Thank you. I ran off and soon found a cave. I had to put this thing to use right away. As I explored the cave, I soon found what I was looking for. Diamonds. The perfect thing at a time like this. I'm going to be able to upgrade all of my gear. My pockets were soon full of diamonds, and I headed out to keep looking for the special item. On days 54 to 49, I was finishing up my diamond mining. Suddenly, I heard a noise behind me. What the heck is that? that? A giant two-legged monster was looking at me. It attacked. I had never seen a monster like this before, but it was really powerful. I was starting to get worried because my health was really dropping. It doesn't look like I'm gonna make it. Just then, a colorful warrior came stepping in and finished it off. Whoa, you're super strong. Where did you come from?
Technically, I came from 1,000 years ago.
Whoa, are you some kind of time traveler?
No, not exactly. In my lifetime, I was cursed by some evil witches, and now I can't rest until I've defeated the ancient ghost warrior.
Ghost warrior? That sounds spooky. What is that, and where do you find one?
Follow me.
I took off after the ancient warrior, and we soon arrived at an old temple. As we got closer, I could see there was some kind of magical force field blocking our way in. The ancient warrior explained that in order to bring down the shield, we'd have to defeat 3 nearby ghost shamans.
I have come here many times, but I'm not strong enough on my own. If I could get your help, there would be something in it for you too. Inside of this temple is a powerful defensive item that can only be used by the living.
That sounds like the item I've been searching for. I'm in. On days 50 to 53, the warrior and I soon saw the fire tower looming in the distance. On top, the fire ghost shaman was waiting. We charged up the tower, fighting blazes along the way. Out of the way, hotheads! The warrior was really impressed with my skills. We soon reached the top. The fire ghost shaman took one look at us, then attacked. We had an intense battle while he set off explosions around us. It was hard to believe that there were 2 more of these guys. With the combined power of the warrior and me, though, we managed to finally defeat him. After he disappeared, we noticed that he had dropped a key. Oh, we can use this to unlock the barrier. 2 more to go. Sometime later, we arrived at the ice tower. It was a huge ice spike protruding out of an icy wasteland. It was quite the sight to behold. Let's get to it. This time, the tower was covered in skeletal warriors. They were vicious in their attacks, and at times I was scared they were going to knock me off the tower. We got lucky though and managed to make it to the top. Problem was, there was no one there. Where is he? Do you think someone defeated him already? Without warning, some ice in the wall broke and the ice shaman came charging out. Quite the entrance there, sir. The ice shaman put up a big fight. As we battled, he shot ice spikes up from the ground, which were really scary. A hit from those would do some serious damage. We were tough though and managed to take him out. He too dropped a key, which we picked up. Later, we arrived at the final tower, the storm tower. It too was an impressive sight, towering over the surrounding land. We didn't have time to be impressed though. We had a key to collect. We charged up the tower, racing to the top. Protecting the tower was a small army of lightning allays. They would shriek as they flew in, trying to hit us. These guys are freaking me out. It took a lot of effort, but at long last, we had almost reached the top. There was just one problem. Looks like we've got some jumping to do. Hopefully we don't fall off. The platforms had been covered in water and were a little slick, but we were doing okay. That's when a small storm cloud opened up and started shooting lightning at us. You can't be serious. We kept hopping across the platforms, doing our best to avoid the lightning strikes, which, as you can imagine, is not the easiest thing to do. Yet somehow we managed to reach the top. There was a burst of lightning and the storm shaman appeared, floating on a thundercloud. Let's show this prehistoric storm junkie who they're messing with. The shaman started to fight us, shooting lightning as he went. Come on, man, cool it with the lightning. He was quick, but not too quick. We hit him again and again, taking some hits of our own. It was a close battle, but in the end, we were able to come out on top. And there's the last key. We picked it up. It was time to let our warrior rest. On days 54 to 57, we had returned to the temple. The warrior stepped forward and placed the keys in the elemental circle. As he did so, each key floated in place until at long last, the barrier was destroyed. We entered the temple and went up the stairs. As we reached the top, I could see the item floating on a table. The eye of the tiger. That must be it. We ran forward to grab it, but heard a strange noise, stopping in our tracks. What was that? Suddenly, the ground broke and we fell down a long hole. Oof. Where are we?
Who dares enter my tomb?
Sitting in front of us on a throne was the ancient ghost warrior. He was dressed in a tiger skin. There was no way I was going to get that item without defeating this guy. All right, Catman, let's dance. Ghost warrior charged. The battle was fierce and everyone was getting in some hard hits. The thing is though, we were winning. For an endless being, you aren't very tough. We landed a pretty heavy blow, which sent the ghost warrior running back to his throne.
Feel the wrath of the elemental beings.
Suddenly, a small force field appeared, and the 3 elemental shamans came running through the portals. These guys again? We can do this! It was hard enough fighting these guys one-on-one, but all 3 at once was a real challenge. Before, we had always outnumbered them, so this was a tough fight. Luckily, these reanimated warriors weren't as tough as the ones in the towers, as they didn't seem to be able to use their special attacks. Hang on, buddy, we can beat them! Slowly but surely, we were able to start taking them out. As one would fall, the force field would weaken, until finally, they were all gone.
I will end this!
The ghost warrior attacked us again, but it was clear we were too powerful. He tried his best, but soon, he was destroyed.
Thank you for your help, Zozo. Please, go and claim the Eye of the Tiger. I will stay here and assume my final rest.
You're a mighty warrior. Enjoy your afterlife. I ran up the stairs and grabbed the Eye of the Tiger off the pedestal. I don't know what exactly this does, but I guess I'll find out. As I went to exit the temple, I saw the warrior standing at the bottom of the temple steps. What are you doing here? I thought you were on your way to the afterlife.
Well, I did too, but nothing happened. Did you get the item?
I did, but I'm not sure what it does exactly.
You will never leave this place.
The ghost warrior had reappeared at the top of the stairs and came charging at me. He hit me super hard, but I immediately responded with an even stronger counterattack, knocking him out in one hit. Whoa, what was that?
It was the item. It lets you deliver a powerful blow, but only if you take a powerful hit yourself.
Interesting. Say, if you're not going to be disappearing anytime soon, why don't you join me on my quest?
I've got nothing else to do. Sounds great.
Awesome. By the way, what's your name? I bet it's something really cool and ancient sounding.
Tim,
Tim? Like short for Timothy?
that is correct.
Okay, well, that's still cool. Let's go. On days 58 to 62, Tim and I arrived back at the base. I headed straight to Master Balboa to tell him about the item I had found.
That is most impressive, Zozo. I'm so happy that you made it back in one piece.
Master Balboa let out a cough. That didn't sound so good, but I didn't want to press him. He was also looking a little shaky. With Tim at the base, I needed to make sure he had a place to stay. I wasn't sure if undead, timeless ancient warriors needed to sleep or not, but I did my best to make him a comfortable place. At the very least, he could just enjoy the feng shui. Tim then called me over to him and told me that his 1,000 years of life came with some training tips. Following his instructions, I made some improvements to the gym. These are really going to help us out. With Tim all set up, I then headed over to the crafting table to make use of all the diamonds I had found. It had been something of a miracle that I was able to win all the battles I did using subpar armor. Soon, I had everything upgraded and was ready for my next fight. On days 63 to 66, I decided to get some more work done on Ernie's statue. I had gotten a decent amount done when I heard a noise coming from the base. As I looked, I saw the base was under attack by the monkeys. And this time, it wasn't a dream. You scumbags, get back! I started to fight off the monkeys, taking a lot of them out. Buff Bear was strong, but his students weren't. He must not be a very good teacher. I then hurried and ran inside the gym, where there's a pack of monkeys attacking Master Balboa. Get away from him! Master Balboa was holding his own, but I could tell he was eventually going to be overrun. I helped fight off the monkeys until only the henchman monkey was left.
You may have defeated a little army, but as long as you keep training and getting more members of your gym, we'll keep giving you these little visits.
Enough is enough. We will never give up. Tell your boss this is an official challenge. I challenge him to a fight to the death.
Oh, okay, pal. Your funeral.
The monkey turned and ran off. I ran over to Master Balboa. He wasn't looking so good.
Zozo, why did you do that? You promised me you wouldn't fight him.
Promised I would only fight out of self-defense. They attacked us. Isn't that what I'm doing? Master Balboa let out a cough. He had been seriously injured. We don't have to worry about that right now. You need to rest up and heal your wounds. I'm sorry. I led him to his bed to rest. Things weren't looking good. On days 67 to 70, I got to work, building a medical area that would have all the things that could help Master Balboa to heal. I hoped he could pull through. When I was done, I went to check on him again, but things were not looking good.
Zozo, I don't know how much time I have left, but I need to talk to you about this fight.
Master Balboa, it's okay. Save your energy. I know what you're going to say. We don't have to talk about this now.
We do, Zozo. I just want you to consider something. You can live your life in peace at this gym, restoring it and training the next generation of protectors. You don't have to throw your life away in the pursuit of revenge. Don't answer me now. Just promise you will think about it.
I promised him I would think about it. While I thought about it though, I decided to get to work repairing the gym. The monkeys had caused a lot of damage and we needed to get things back in case they attacked again. Once the repairs were complete, I went around the outside of the gym, putting up a fence. A little extra security could make a big difference in the future. As I was finishing up the fence, Perry came over to talk to me.
Hey, I've got some information you might find useful. I know where you can find that monkey.
Oh, do you? Because I wouldn't mind having a little chat with him.
There's a club nearby that he likes to hang out at. I'll tell you the way.
Perry explained how to find the club and I set off. If I decided not to fight Buff Bear, at the very least, I was going to take out his monkey. On day 71 to 74, I arrived outside the club Perry had told me about. There were some bouncers standing outside. Out of the way, boys, or I'll move you myself. The bouncers weren't interested in my threats and we started to fight. How bold of them to think they were going to stop me. I was able to knock both of them out pretty quickly. As I stepped into the club, there was a shout and a bunch of monkeys started to swarm me. Bring it on, you tree rats. Where's your leader? I smacked the monkeys left and right, sending them crashing into the tables and chairs. I wasn't in the mood for their sad attempts to take me out. I only had one thing on my mind: revenge. Come on, where is he? I know he's hiding around here. More and more waves of monkeys came running out, but it didn't matter. I tossed them around like stuffed animals and took them out quickly. If they weren't going to show me where the henchman was hiding, I was just going to have to start destroying their club. I ran around the room, busting up the tables and chairs. I ran around, breaking everything I could. If he was going to come to my house and break my stuff, I had no problem going to his and doing the same. Surely this would draw the monkey henchman out. On day 75 to 78, a nearby door opened and the henchman finally revealed himself.
Hey, what's the big idea? I thought we told you where you could stick your little kangaroo paws.
Did you really think you could come to our gym and not have anything happen in return?
You said you wanted to fight Master Bear, not me.
Turned out I had some room in my schedule. You and me, alone. Now, let's go!
Sure, I can crush you myself.
The henchman leapt forward, getting an early hit in, catching me off guard. He was stronger than I was expecting.
What's wrong, Happy? Spending too much time hugging trees and drinking tea with your turtle grandpa? How is he, by the way? I hear he's not doing too good.
You're about to pay what you did to him. I landed a really hard hit, which I could tell really shook him up.
No, not like this. You won't beat me.
Suddenly, a bunch of monkey guards came running into the room. You coward, always hiding behind others. You talk tough, but you're weak. If Buff Bear wasn't around to protect you, you'd have disappeared a long time ago. I managed to knock out the crowd of monkeys. The monkey henchman looked around, then took off running up a flight of stairs to the roof of the club. I chased him to the top. What are you so afraid of? I thought you were going to crush me.
What are you doing at that turtle gym? How did you become so strong?
It's called training. Maybe you should have tried it instead of running your mouth. The monkey henchman was cornered at the edge of the roof.
Hey, come on now. I just wanted to rough that old turtle up a bit, you know? It's not a big deal. We're not so different, you know? We're both strong-willed. So what do you say? Let's call it a draw and I'll get Buff Bear to call the fight off.
No, I punched him so hard he flew over the edge, disappearing into the night. I had no more time for slimy monkeys. As I ran down the stairs, I noticed there was a note on the monkey's desk. I picked it up and took a look. Do not worry about Zozo. Even if it comes to a fight between me and him, I have a man on the inside. We will poison Zozo before the fight and ensure my victory. This must be from Buff Bear, but a man on the inside? I'll have to keep an eye out. On days 79 to 84, I arrived back at the base. As I got closer, Perry came running out.
Zozo, come quick. Master Balboa has been asking for you. I think this is the end.
I hurried inside and saw Master Balboa was looking even worse than before. He looked like he didn't have much time left.
Zozo, my end is near, but I needed to speak with you.
I'm sorry, Master Balboa. I've been rash. I know I need to call off the fight. If that is your final wish, I will honor it.
And finally, you understand.
What do you mean?
Zozo, I know you. And while I know you mean that when you say it, your desire for revenge will grow stronger with every attack Buff Bear launches. Even the strongest warrior can't run in two directions at once.
Wait, do you mean to say you want me to fight him?
I do. I've known this from the moment Ernie stepped into the ring with that bear. It was always your destiny to avenge Ernie and save this gym. But I needed you to understand that you cannot defeat the bear with a heart of rage.
You've been preparing me this whole time, and I didn't even realize it. Thank you. I'm afraid someone here is trying to sabotage me, though. I found a note from Buff Bear saying so.
If a friend is going to cross you, they may have their own reasons why. Be patient and have compassion, so you may learn why. Goodbye, Zozo. I will be with you.
Master Balboa turned to his side and vanished. I couldn't believe he was gone. Suddenly, there were some blinking lights as experience poured in on me, leveling me up into an even bigger kangaroo with more hearts. Master Balboa's final gift. I won't let him down. As a show of my gratitude, I headed outside to do some work on the statue. There was something new I felt I should add. Now that Master Balboa was gone, it might not look like much, but soon enough, it will be something great. On days 85 to 89, I walked around the gym, visiting with each of the new friends I had made. Each of them had a piece of advice for me. Tim spoke of speed in the fight, using fast movements to evade the enemy's attack in order to land my own. Harry showed me what he had learned about his tail and shared with me a secret he had discovered that allowed him to hit twice as hard with it. Wilbur spoke to me about the power of perseverance. Sometimes things get hard in the fight, but by keeping your head down and continuing to fight, you will always make it through. As Wilbur was explaining, Perry came over. He had a note from Buff Bear. Greetings, Zozo. I accept your challenge and I will meet you in the arena in a few days. Best get ready soon. As I read the note, I noticed Wilbur was acting a little funny. I'd have to keep an eye on him over the next few days. On days 90 to 94, I woke up and decided it was time to make my final preparations. I felt more powered up than ever, but there was still more that needed to be done. There was no way I could let Buff Bear take me out. First things first, I've got to upgrade my armor. The strongest armor comes from netherite, so I needed to head into the nether. I set out to find obsidian. I had ventured deep into a cave where there was lava and was able to collect all the obsidian I needed. Using my newly collected obsidian, I then set up a portal outside and lit it. Going to the nether always makes me nervous, but here we go. I stepped into the portal and the purple haze took me away. Safely in the nether, I got right to work, looking for ancient debris. Unfortunately, this wasn't going to be an easy trip, and I was soon fighting my way through. Out of the way! I fought as hard as I could, and managed to clear a path. I had to hurry though, there was always something hiding around the corner. After plenty of searching, I managed to get all of the ancient debris that I needed. I also grabbed some gold. This will help me make netherite ingots, but I can also use it to finish the statue. Once I had collected everything, I headed back to the portal. On days 95 to 97, I arrived back in the overworld and made my way back to the gym. Using the ancient debris, I was able to smelt it down into netherite scraps. Then using the netherite scraps and gold, I made some netherite ingots. Now I can get truly powered up. I took all of the diamond armor and gear I had collected and upgraded everything to netherite. I had no idea what Buff Bear was going to show up with, so I had to have the best. After that, I headed outside to finish the statue. Using all of the supplies I'd collected, I was finally able to give it the final touches. As I'm sure you figured out by now, it was a trophy of my two friends, Ernie and Master Balboa. As I finished the statue and admired my work, I suddenly had a vision.
Zozo, it's me, Ernie.
Ernie? I can't believe it. You're back.
Well, no, I'm just here, in your head. But I wanted to say thank you for working so hard to avenge me.
Yes, Zozo, we won't see you there, but we will be supporting you. We know you can win.
Thanks, guys. I was starting to feel a bit lonely, but I feel much better now, especially since someone is going to try and poison me.
Zozo, remember, they may have their reasons, so meet them with compassion, not anger.
I nodded as the two of them vanished away. I'll do whatever it takes to win. On day 98, I woke up to the sound of a knock at my door. It was Wilbur.
Hello, Zozo. I thought you could use a pick-me-up before your fight. I made this for you.
Wilbur seemed really nervous as he passed the drink over to me. As I took a closer look at the drink, I could very clearly see that it had poison in it. It was labeled. Before I could say anything, though, Wilbur piped up.
Zozo, wait. Don't drink that. It's poisoned.
Yeah, I saw that. Wilbur, what's going on?
I'm sorry for trying to poison you. Buff Bear is blackmailing me. He knows something about me and threatened to tell everyone if I didn't help him.
What do you mean? What could be so bad that you would poison your friend?
The truth is that I love clean water. Bathing in mud is so gross. But if anyone found out, especially the other pigs, I would be ridiculed until the day I become a pork chop. Please don't tell anyone, and please forgive me.
The advice of Master Balboa repeated in my head. It's okay, Wilbur. I forgive you. And don't worry, if anyone ever gives you a problem about liking clean water, you just let me know. I've got two fists that will have a word with them.
Thanks, Zozo. You're a good friend.
I decided that I would even do him one better and got to work building him his own special hot tub. I wanted him to know that he would never get made fun of here. Once the work was completed, I gathered everyone together for one final chat. They were all so excited for me and began to give me words of encouragement. I didn't know what I had done to have so many great friends. As their encouragement grew, I suddenly started to as well. Out of nowhere, I became a big buff kangaroo. Let's go kick some Buff Bear butt. And don't forget to hit subscribe. I can't do this without your help. On day 99, we made our way to the arena. The day of the fight had come. As I entered, I could see not much had changed from before. Buff Bear and I stepped into the ring for our introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the latest Rumble in the Rotunda! In the red corner, we have the mighty, the majestic, the powerful, the one, the only, Buff Bear!
The monkeys in the crowd went wild in admiration.
And in the blue corner, a kangaroo.
Buff Bear and I were facing each other. He had a sly grin.
Hope you're not feeling a little under the weather today.
You mean like poisoned? I feel great, actually. Turns out your friend is actually my friend.
What? That useless pig. After I beat you, he's dead.
Keep dreaming. We got ready for the bell. Buff Bear was going down. As the bell rang, we both leapt into action. I had been preparing for this moment for so long, I just had to win. Even then, he was still incredibly strong.
Silly kangaroo, you've wasted your time at that old decrepit gym. You should be putting your talents to use as my servant.
I'll never be your servant, and you're going to pay for what you've done to Ernie and to Master Balboa. We continued to exchange blows as the monkeys around us were going crazy. I had to be careful. One slip up, and he was going to be able to knock me out. I felt like I was winning and was getting some good hits in. Looks like your time is coming to an end.
Guess I'll stop playing around then.
Oh no, it was his fight with Ernie all over again. I was in trouble. He started to really hit me, and my health was really starting to drop. Just then, I heard a voice in my head. Master Balboa.
Focus, Zozo, and use the eye of the tiger.
Of course, the best offense was a good defense. I lowered my guard, letting myself take the full impact of Buff Bear's hit. As I did so, the eye of the tiger let me absorb the blow, sending Buff Bear out of the ring and into the afterlife. I did it! The monkeys were stunned. They couldn't believe it, but I could. Justice had been served. On day 100, I was back at the gym, right where I belonged. With Buff Bear defeated, we could train and grow in peace. The world had become just a little bit safer, but we had to be ready, always. On day 1, I spawned in as Black Panther. I only have 4 hearts. That doesn't seem like a lot for a superhero, but I can move quickly thanks to my cat-like reflexes. And it looks like I have vibranium claws too. Neat! Hey look, there's a waterfall right behind me. And there's some kind of skeleton with a giant battle axe? What is he doing here? Uh-oh, are we about to fight? Bring it on! The skeleton ran at me and swung his weapon, but with my cat-like reflexes, I dodged him easily. I ran up behind him and hit him with my claws. These claws were really powerful. Whoa, he fell right over the waterfall. I won! Too bad I can't get any loot from that skeleton skeleton because he fell down so far. I really wanted that cool battle axe. I decided to go to the bottom of the waterfall and look to see if I could find it. When I got there, I saw that the skeleton was still standing. He ran at me again, but this time I faced him head on. He was no match. And look at that, he dropped the battle axe. It's not vibranium, but it's still pretty cool. I wonder where that skeleton got it. I decided to take shelter in a cave under the waterfall and relax for the rest of the day. On day 2, I was woken up by the sounds of an angry gorilla. It had come out from the back of the cave and was trying to attack me. I looked at it a little closer and realized that it wasn't an ordinary gorilla. It was a zombie ape. Ah, get away from me, zombie! Don't make me use my new weapon. I ran away from the zombie ape and out into the sunlight where it didn't want to follow me. I guess that it was one of those mobs that take damage in the daytime. It was an undead just like the skeleton I fought yesterday. Maybe they were common in this area. I decided to leave the waterfall behind and follow the river towards the grasslands. Whoa, there are so many animals here. I could see a rhino and a giraffe, and it looked like they weren't zombies. Thank goodness. I guess I'll let them eat grass in peace, especially because I was starting to get hungry too. I saw some berry bushes, so I started punching them to gather food. Once I got enough, I refilled my canteen in the river. Surviving would be a lot easier now, and if I got into a fight, I already had some pretty good weapons. Still, I thought it might be good to build a shelter in case the zombies came out at night. I used the battle axe I got from the skeleton to chop down trees. I soon had enough wood to make a small hut and bed. It was almost nighttime, so I went inside and went to sleep. When I woke up on day 3, I noticed that there was a tree outside that wasn't there yesterday. It was really big and looked ancient and magical. There was a glowing panther spirit sitting in the branches. I made my way over to the magic tree, and the panther spirit started talking to me.
Zozo, this land needs your protection.
Oh, it looked like I was going to get a superhero quest. I stood there and I listened closely.
We are under attack by an undead warlord to the west of the grasslands. He is turning everything into zombies and skeletons. You must stop him.
An undead warlord? That sounded scary, and he was probably really strong. I'd need a lot more than 4 hearts to take him on, but I couldn't just ignore a quest from the panther spirit. The people and animals needed my help too, and maybe there was a way to turn the animals that had already become zombies back to normal.
Journey westward, and you will find his evil lair.
I spent the rest of the day gathering supplies for my journey and practicing with my weapons on any mobs I could find. On days 4 to 5, I traveled from my hut in the grasslands all the way to the heart of the desert. According to the panther spirit, I was heading in the right direction to reach the overlord's lair. Before long, I saw a zombie boar wandering around in the sand. Oh no, looks like the overlord has already turned the animals in the desert into zombies. The zombie boar charged me, and I lost a bit of health. I had to protect myself, so I drew my battle axe and took a couple swings. I'm sorry, Mr. Boar. The fight was over in no time. I spotted an oasis nearby. I had been traveling for a long time, and night would be here soon. I didn't want to be caught outside if more zombies showed up, so I gathered some wood from the palm trees and set up camp. I had just finished my little oasis hut when a genie appeared out of thin air. I thought I was going to get 3 wishes at first, but then he spoke, and I knew he wasn't the nice kind of genie.
Who dares come to my oasis without an invitation?
I said I was sorry and that I just needed somewhere to spend the night, but the genie created a sandstorm, and suddenly the oasis was gone. He may not have granted me any wishes, but he had left an item behind in the sand. I went to pick it up, and it turned out to be a brand new pair of Roadrunner boots. Awesome, now my movement over the sand will be twice as fast. On days 6 to 8, I was still in the desert when I saw a gigantic archway made of bones. There was a skeleton warrior underneath it, and he was carrying an obsidian shield and spear. It didn't look like he was going to let me pass without a fight. I put my battle axe away and got my vibranium claws ready.
You cannot go any further. I am the Skull Guardian, and you can't beat me.
He seemed serious, but I had to try. If I couldn't win here, there was no way I could beat the Overlord. I attacked him, but even my vibranium claws couldn't get through his shield. It was too tough, even for obsidian, and his spear kept damaging me. I was almost out of health. The only thing I could do to survive was run away. Good thing I had those Roadrunner boots. I turned around and got out of there. The Skull Guardian stayed at the archway and shouted after me.
You are too weak. Come back when you are stronger.
Maybe I still needed some more training. While I was running away though, I was spotted by a group of hoglins. I could have easily run away from them, but I was tired of running. I stopped and decided to face them. I took out my claws and defeated each and every one of them. When I defeated the last hoglin, I suddenly felt something inside of me. I grew into an even bigger Black Panther with more hearts. I also saw that the hoglins had dropped a ton of leather. I could use this when I got back to my base. On days 9 to 10, I went back to the grasslands to expand my hut into a base. I used some sandstone from the desert to make it into a small tower and crafted myself a full set of leather armor too. I then crafted a shovel. I felt a pull to this area for some reason, like it was calling to me, so I dug down until I hit some stone. There, I had an entrance to a mine beneath the tower now. I'd have to check it out further later. I built more furniture inside the base. Using wood I was able to gather from a bunch of trees in the grasslands. The one tree that I didn't use for wood was the ancient spirit tree. The panther spirit wasn't there, but I was hoping that maybe it would show up to help me again. I definitely needed some advice on how to defeat the Skull Guardian. If I couldn't beat him, I would never be able to defeat the Overlord and save this land from zombification. On days 11 to 12, I was walking along the river when I saw the zombie ape from the cave splashing around in the water. Had it followed me all the way to the grasslands? It really might might have because it noticed me and ran up to attack. I was a lot stronger now though. This ape didn't know what he was getting himself into. Sure enough, I was able to win against the zombie ape that I ran away from on day 2. I looked at the river to see a water elemental emerging from below the surface.
Thank you. That zombie had taken over my home behind the waterfall, and last night it chased me all the way here to the grasslands.
Who are you?
I am the spirit of the river, and I can see that you are a great hero. This land needs a protector, and I'm glad you were here to save me.
I'm not that great of a hero yet. I need to beat the Skull Guardian or I'll never save the animals.
Have faith in yourself. I am friends with the Panther spirit, and he believes you can do this.
But last time I fought against him, I didn't even damage him, and he almost took all of my health.
The only reason you lost to the Skull Guardian was because he had an enchantment cast on him that shields him from the attacks of the living.
The spirit of the river handed me a potion.
Drink this potion, and your claws will be able to strike true. That should make it a fair fight.
I said thank you to the spirit. If so many beings were counting on me, I couldn't give up. On days 13 to 15, I decided to check out my mine again, but first, I needed to grab my pickaxe. I still felt something drawing me to dig deeper, so I started digging down. Whoa, what's that? It was a strange material. Vibranium! Turns out, there was a lot of it just below the surface. This land must be rich in it or something. Either that, or I just discovered the only vibranium mine around. I gathered a bunch of it and went to my base to see what I could craft. It turned out, I could make a full set of vibranium armor and tools. Super! I have some serious armor now. My base is also looking way cooler. It's tricked out with vibranium walls and minecart rails. I kept the ancient tree protected in its own little courtyard and made sure to give it plenty of water. I also remembered to plant trees around the grasslands so that I get more wood in the future. On day 16 to 19, I was making my way back through the desert when I ran into a group of husks, and it looked like they wanted to meet the Black Panther up close and personal. The husks attacked me, but I fought back, clawing away at them. Take that, you dried out no good zombie, and here's one for you, you wannabe mummy. Before I knew it, I had beaten the whole group, but then I heard something and turned around. There was one more husk, and this one was way bigger than the others. That's a huge husk. I wasn't scared though, and I rushed right in to face him. The huge husk hit a lot harder than his little brothers, but his skin was just as soft as theirs, and before long, he was down for the count too. You know, I was glad those husks attacked me though. It was good practice for my claws, since I knew I'd be facing the Skull Guardian soon. On days 20 to 22, I reached the archway where the Skull Guardian was waiting and challenged him to a fight.
So, you think you can beat me this time?
Sure I can. Watch this! I drank the potion that the water elemental gave me, and now my attacks could actually damage him. I still had to keep my guard up and dodge a spear attack, but even his shield couldn't stop my vibranium claws this time. After several hits, he finally went down and dropped a skeleton key. A skeleton key? Was this thing made from the skull of the guy I had just defeated? Gross. This would probably come in handy later though, so I made sure to take it with me. My journey continued on, and soon I made it out of the desert to a wasteland. I'd have time to explore it soon, but for now, I decided to get back to my base, but not in the way you might be thinking. On days 23 to 26, I decided I didn't want to have to cross through the desert again in case I ever wanted to come back here, so I decided to build a massive tunnel back to my base. I dug down a little ways and then started tunneling in the direction of my base, placing torches as I went. It took a long time, but eventually I got to where I thought my base should be and tunneled up out of the ground. I popped up right in front of my base. How's that for good luck? When I got to the door of my base though, I saw there was a package waiting for me with a note attached to it. This must be from the water elemental. I could tell because it was all wet. The note read,
Dear Zozo, you're doing great. I knew you could defeat the Skull Guardian. Included are some potions that should make your journey easier. P.S. If you're liking the video, make sure you search for other Zozo videos at ZOZO to see more adventures he's been on.
Yep, definitely weird, but when I opened the package, I saw it was full of experience potions. Nice! I drank the potions and felt myself starting to change. I grew bigger and had more hearts too. On days 27 to 31, I upgraded my base to look a little nicer, since Black Panther is a king after all. I started a statue outside too, something that I knew would inspire me every time I came back to my base. I know it's only the very start, but can you tell what it is yet? Next, I laid down some track in the tunnel so I could quickly get back to the wasteland using a minecart. When my minecart ride was over, I exited the tunnel and took a look around the wasteland to see if I could find any sign of the Overlord's lair. That's when I noticed a small village hidden among the rocky hills of the wasteland. The villagers there said they'd been attacked by zombies, and some of them had even gotten turned into zombies.
Our iron golem was supposed to protect the village, but it's been broken for a long time.
Don't worry, I have an idea for how to fix it.
You're the best.
On days 32 to 35, I gathered more vibranium from the mines at my base so I could use it to upgrade the village's iron golem. It would be 4 times as strong as an iron golem would be, so the villagers would have nothing to worry about from invading monsters. I was really starting to get creative at using vibranium in my creations, and I soon realized that the material had another special ability I could use to improve my base's defenses. Vibranium could generate force fields, and with a little bit of tinkering, I was able to make a force field dome around the whole base. Let's see those zombie animals try to get inside now. On days 36 to 39, I returned to the wasteland village and and used the vibranium to upgrade their iron golem. Now they had their very own vibranium golem.
Hooray! You saved our village!
It sure does feel good to be the good guy. Now I could ask them to help me in my quest. I'm looking for the evil overlord who has been making zombies. Do you know where I can find him?
No one here knows. You should go speak to the shaman of the mountains.
Thanks. On days 40 to 43, I trekked up the snowy mountains and found the lair of the shaman. It was guarded by a friendly snow golem. They didn't bother me, probably because they knew what a hero I was. Inside of a long wooden house was the shaman. They had so many magical potions on their shelves, including ones I had never seen.
So, you must be the one I've been hearing about. I've got an idea for something that might be able to help you in your quest.
I'm all ears.
I'm working on a potion that can turn zombies back into normal animals and people, but I need magic flowers from the jungle in order to complete the recipe.
You can count on me, shaman. On days 44 to 49, I headed deep into the jungle in search of the flowers the shaman needed. Eventually, I saw it, the hill shaped like a skull where the flowers were supposed to be. I fought my way up the hill. Eventually, I got to the top. Phew, that was a tough climb even without a bunch of mutants. No wonder the shaman needed someone to get these for him. And then I saw them. At the very top of the hill, inside the skull, were the flowers. I ran up to the flowers and tried to pick them up, but they were stuck. I couldn't pick them. That's when I realized they weren't stuck to the ground. They were actually part of a giant plant monster. The giant plant monster rose out of the ground, the flower still on top of his head. I don't suppose you'd let me have some of your flowers. But the plant monster didn't want to talk. It wanted to fight. It was a tough enemy. I had to avoid its poisonous plant breath attack and be careful not to get punched by it. It hit super hard, but eventually I took it down and it left one of its flowers as loot. Awesome. Now I can leave this crazy place. On days 50 to 53, I returned to the shaman. I invited them to come stay at my base while they finished the potion. When we got there, I built an area for the shaman to stay and work, complete with a nice big cauldron for magical potions.
Just a bit more fine-tuning and my anti-zombie potion will be complete. Thanks again for getting those flowers.
You're welcome. You could have mentioned the giant poisonous plant monster, but really, I'm just glad to have helped.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Here, take this as an apology.
The shaman tossed something at me. When I picked it up, I realized it gave me a new recipe. It was an upgrade ability for my suit that allowed me to build in some of the vibranium force field tech. Now when the enemies tried to hit me, I could blast them away. Now that's what I call a powerful ability. On days 54 to 57, the shaman and I went into the grasslands and tested the potion on some of the zombie animals. Wow, it actually works! We started turning animals back, one by one, until we got almost all the animals in the grasslands.
We've got plenty of more where that came from back at the base.
I didn't know what I'd do without the shaman.
Watch out!
Suddenly, the shaman pushed me aside. I was about to ask why when a giant beam of pure evil power shot down from above, and in seconds, the shaman was gone. Oh no, that must have been the overlord. He must have been aiming for me. I started to run, zigging and zagging as beams shot down from above. I kept running until I saw a cave and jumped in, just before a beam could hit me. On days 58 to 62, I waited in the cave until I didn't hear any more powerful beams outside. But what I did hear was something deeper in the cave. I turned around to see a spider leaping at me. Time to try out my new force field ability. I blasted him. Looks like it works just fine. I practiced with my new force field ability some more, and when I was sure I had the hang of it, I finally defeated the spider. With the spider defeated, I remembered the shaman and how quickly the overlord's attack had appeared. How was I ever going to defeat him? It didn't matter. I had to figure out a way, since that's what superheroes do. I knew there was still a lot of anti-zombie potion left, so at least the shaman's sacrifice was not in vain. Soon, this land would be safe from zombies. I would make sure of it. On days 63 to 66, I snuck out of the cave and went back to my base, where I gathered up all the anti-zombie potions the shaman had made. Before I left, I wanted to do some work on my statue. I needed something to cheer me up after all that had happened, and I knew a great statue like this would encourage me every time I saw it. So what about now? Can you tell what I'm making yet? I took anti-zombie potions back to the wasteland, and every time I encountered a group of zombies, I used the potions on them to turn them back into villagers. Then I sent them to go live at the village, protected by the vibranium golem. The villagers were happy to see so many people get changed back and sent me a letter to say thank you.
Keep it up. We've got more villagers now than ever before. Our little village keeps growing, just like your number of subscribers. And we hope everyone watching joins your village of subscribers too.
Oh, thanks guys. On days 67 to 70, while exploring the wasteland and saving more villagers from their zombified fate, I finally saw something far off in the distance. It was the evil lair that the panther spirit and the river spirit had told me about. I was sure that the overlord was in there. I could feel it, but it wasn't going to be easy getting to it since I could see that between me and the base was an enormous chasm. It looks like it went all the way around the base with no clear way to get across. I didn't have much time to think about it though, because suddenly I was attacked by a group of zombie apes. You guys again? Haven't you had enough of being zombies? I went to throw an anti-zombie potion at them when I realized I was all out. Oh no! I didn't want to fight them, but I was surrounded. It didn't look like I'd have much of a choice. With no way to turn them back to normal apes, I had to deal with them the old-fashioned way, with my claws. There were a lot of undead apes, but I was able to put all my skills and abilities to use, dodging their attacks and rushing in to land my own. Finally, the last of them had been taken care of. Phew, sorry about that guys. I promise to make sure I have a full stack of anti-zombie potions next time. I could still see the overlord's base far off in the distance. It was far enough away that it would probably take me a while to reach it, and then I'd have to deal with that huge chasm. I had a plan for that though, but first, I'd need to returned to my base. On days 71 to 74, I built my coolest vibranium invention yet, an aircraft with vibranium-powered levitation devices built into the wings. The only thing scarier than a Black Panther is a flying Black Panther. With my new aircraft, I'd be able to fly right over that giant chasm and drop in right on top of the Overlord. Before taking it out to the wasteland though, I decided I should practice around my own base. Alright, here we go. The first test flight of the Wakanda 1 aircraft. It worked! The aircraft lifted into the sky. The Overlord would never know what hit him. I practiced flying around, doing circles around my base, gradually getting further and further away as I got more comfortable. Whoa! I was still getting used to the controls though, and almost crashed into a river. Luckily, I was able to pull up at the last moment, and before long, I had the controls down and the aircraft was soaring like a bird. On days 75 to 78, I flew the vibranium aircraft to the Overlord's lair, passing right over the giant chasm. Wow, from up here, it looks like it doesn't even have a bottom. Good thing I didn't try to cross it on foot. Before I left my base, I had made sure to fill the cargo hold with plenty of anti-zombie potions. Time to save this land from tyranny. From high in the air, I could see a group of zombie apes in the lair's courtyard. I decided to drop a bunch of potions down at them from the airship, turning them back into normal gorillas. I kept raining down potions wherever I saw undead, and soon everything was back to normal. There was only one thing left to do. I landed the aircraft on the roof, which I thought should give me direct access to the Overlord's throne room. I stepped inside the throne room and saw that I was right. There was the Overlord waiting for me.
You dare interfere with my plans? I will make you a zombie next, and then everyone and everything you know will become my zombies.
He swung his weapon at me, but my suit's armor was strong enough to keep the damage low. I blasted him back with my force field and then used my vibranium claws to land a couple good hits.
You cannot defeat me. I am the Overlord.
Watch me. Swung my hardest and knocked him down with my claws. Strangely though, he just started laughing. He started to glow and rise into the air.
You fool. All you've accomplished is releasing me from my zombie body, and soon I will be the mightiest being in the world.
Uh-oh, I may have really messed up here. The Overlord, now a super powerful evil spirit, vanished. It looks like I had just released an even greater bad guy. On days 79 to 84, I used my aircraft to return to the River Spirit. I wanted to see if I could get any answers on how to defeat the Overlord's new spirit form.
Well, the good news is he can't go back into his body now that he's a spirit.
What's the bad news?
The bad news is only full spirits can fight other spirits, and I'm not strong enough alone. Perhaps I could. No, it's impossible.
What? What's your idea?
Well, there is one thing that might work. I'm able to impart some of my river powers on others, but it's far too dangerous. You're not nearly strong enough to survive it.
But if I was able to handle you giving me some of your river powers, could that turn the tide?
Maybe, but you'll need to become much stronger both in body and mind if you want to withstand my powers.
I had to stop the Overlord, and this seemed like the only way, so there was only one thing for me to do: get stronger. It was time to start training. On days 85 to 89, I returned to my base and built some new areas where I could start training my body and mind. For physical strength, I built a dojo near the Panther Spirit's tree, complete with dummies that I could practice my attacks on. I had an even better idea for how to make my mind stronger, but to make it a reality first, I had to finish my statue. I completed my statue and stood back to look at it. I thought it looked great and felt mentally stronger just from gazing at the powerful panther emerging from the mountain. But it still needed one more thing. I decided to build a meditation spot right under its mouth, somewhere that I could focus and strengthen my mind. After training both in body and mind, I returned to the River Spirit, but he quickly sent me away, telling me I wasn't nearly strong enough yet. I returned to my base again to train, and this time the Panther Spirit himself appeared in my dojo. He told me that he trained with me so I could get better at fighting even quicker. I had an idea for how to improve my meditation training too. I went back to the statue and made it so that the water would pour out of its mouth, creating a waterfall. I then built an area right where the water hit the ground where I could sit in the rushing water and meditate, learning how to focus even with powerful forces raging all around me. As I sat in the rushing water, thinking about my fighting training, I suddenly felt myself start to change. I grew in size and gained more hearts. Surely now I must be strong enough to handle the River Spirit's power. I returned to the river and met with the spirit again. This time, there was no doubt.
You're ready now. I will give you my powers.
The River Spirit combined with mine, and I felt his power within me. I felt stronger, like my attacks would do more damage since they were infused with water power. And I now had the ability to create water anywhere too. Look out, evil spirit. A hero is on his way to take you down. On days 90 to 94, I returned to my base to get my aircraft when a wasteland villager suddenly appeared. He told me that the evil spirit had sent an army of zombie piglins to invade their village, and they needed help. I hopped into my aircraft and flew to the village as fast as I could. When I got there, I saw that the villager was right. There were zombie piglins everywhere. The village was on fire, and villagers were trying to escape. The vibranium golem was fighting off as many piglins as he could, but there were simply too many for him to handle alone. I fought what seemed like 100 little oinkers, using my new water ability to blast them. Eventually, we beat the last one, but the village had been almost completely destroyed. Villagers who had escaped were badly shaken and afraid. My base was big enough now that I was able to invite all the surviving villagers to stay there permanently. All of the villagers agreed to come, even the vibranium golem. On days 95 to 97, I took the villagers down to my train temple tunnel and built even more minecarts for them to start going to my base. I flew my aircraft back to the base so I could get it ready for them. I built enough houses for everyone in the same style as their village, and even built farms that looked exactly like their old home. The vibranium golem seemed happy too. He agreed to keep patrolling the new area and defend the villagers if any threats appeared. Just as I was finishing up the last house, I heard the voice of the panther spirit calling to me. I went back to his ancient tree once again.
The evil spirit is waiting for you at the end of the river. It knows you teamed up with the river and thinks if it can destroy the river, it can destroy you too.
Don't worry, I've got this. Together, the river and I are invincible.
Go to the river delta, where the river meets the sea, and there you shall find the evil spirit.
But before I left, he told me that there was one more thing he could do to help me. The panther spirit leapt towards me and absorbed into my body. I felt myself start to change, and I suddenly grew into a huge, superpowered black panther. I had a ton of hearts and felt more powerful than ever. Now, filled with the power of both the river and the panther, I embarked on what I hoped would be the quest that saved this land for good. On day 98, I was making my way downriver towards the ocean when I saw the shaman appear in front of me in ghostly form.
Hello there.
Shaman, you're a spirit now too.
Yes, before that ray of evil could kill me, I used my magic to become a spirit. I've been watching your progress, and you've been doing an amazing job. I think you could use some help, though.
I'll take any help I can get. What I could really use now is some moral support.
I can definitely give you that, but it would be even more powerful if everyone watching the video did too, by giving a like and subscribing. The more likes and sub you have, the stronger you'll be when you face the evil spirit.
Wow, thanks, Shaman. I hope everyone likes and subscribes so that I'll be really powerful. And if you like the video, make sure to type Zozo, Z-O-Z-O, in the search bar to see my other adventures. There's a whole bunch of them.
I will do that.
Well, I didn't think you had YouTube, but okay, cool. On day 99, I made it to the river delta. A vast ocean stretched out into the horizon before me. Come out, evil spirit, it's me, and I've got the river spirit to help me. I used my spirit powers to walk on the water, and soon I was standing in the middle of this great sea. A dark shadow rose up from below, breaking through the surface of the water. It was the evil spirit.
You're too late. I will soon eat the river and become even stronger. Then I turn anything that drinks from the river into one of my undead servants.
We will never let this happen. I used my water powers to hit the evil spirit, then I ran in and started clawing him.
Oh, that does it.
The evil spirit called down his beam of destruction, the same one he used on the shaman, but I was ready this time. There was no way he could win. Not after everything I went through. Not after I came this far. As we battled, I suddenly saw other beams of energy. I looked to my sides and saw the panther, the river, and the shaman spirit standing next to me, adding their energy into mine. My combined spirit beam grew bigger and stronger, and in moments, the evil spirit's power had run out, and he was blasted by the beam.
Impossible. No!
I rushed in, and with one final blow from my spirit claws, I put an end to his reign of evil for good. On day 100, I returned to the base and built myself a royal chamber suitable for a Wakandan king. The land may have been saved this time, but somebody would need to remain and be its protector. And from now on, that would be me. On day 1, I spawned into the ancient forest as a super cool elemental wolf. A wolf spirit tuned into the power of the elements. This is awesome! And I've got 10 hearts too. That's so exciting. I wonder what I can do. I concentrated hard and blasted a powerful ball of energy. This would be an excellent weapon if anybody tried to attack me. And that was exactly what happened. A ghast floated out between the trees before me. What? Why are you here? Aren't ghasts supposed to stay in the nether?
You know nothing, little wolf. The world is changing, and the wheel of time turns on the command of our master, Fungi the Mushroom Lord. Will you swear your allegiance to him?
What? Fungi the Mushroom Lord? I'm not gonna swear allegiance to anyone if I don't know what they stand for.
If you are not the servant of the Mushroom Lord, then you are his enemy, and it is my duty to destroy his enemies. All glory to the Mushroom Lord!
The ghast started firing deadly fireballs at me. I was lucky that with my elemental powers, I took less elemental damage from the fire than a normal wolf did. I turned and ran as fast as I could, losing the ghast somewhere behind me. I wasn't expecting to get attacked so early, and who was this Fungi the Mushroom Lord? Before I could take the time to process any of this, zombies came shambling towards me out of the trees. In a moment of panic, I hit them with an energy blast, destroying them. Using my powers like this is exhausting. I need to find somewhere to sleep and figure all of this mess out. I found some shade beneath the tree and laid down to get some sleep. On day 2, I woke up from under the tree and went exploring the ancient forest. It seemed that this experience wouldn't be as awesome as I thought. I need to find out everything I can about this Mushroom Lord and why nightmarish nether creatures like the ghast are serving him. But first, seeing as how my powers exhaust me, I need some tools and some food. I started on the tools first. In the ancient forest, I was completely surrounded by trees. That's why it was so easy to break one of them down and collect enough wood to make myself a trusty wood pickaxe. Well, not that trusty, but it's a decent means to an end. I used the pickaxe to mine up some of the stone blocks. Between the stone and some spare sticks, I soon had a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. Not quite as defenseless now. That brings me some small comfort at least. I continued exploring the forest with my new tools until I happened upon an evoker standing in a clearing. I approached to ask him a few questions. Greetings, proud evoker. I'm Zozo, the elemental wolf. I have an important question to ask you, but first, an even more important question. Do you have any food?
Of course, Zozo. Here, have some of this meat. It's what a growing wolf needs.
The evoker gave me some meat, which I ate, seeing my hunger bar replenish. Thank you for this great kindness. And as for the other question, do you know anything about Fungi the Mushroom Lord? I ran into his guest. He seems like some kind of threat to this land.
You speak the truth, Zozo. Fungi is a great evil. Some say he rose up from the deep dark. Others say he was grown in some kind of fungal patch of pure evil. All we know for sure is that he controls mutants, monsters, and abominations across the world. And if he isn't stopped, the entire overworld will descend into corruption and filth.
That sounds like a job for a certain elemental wolf. Rest assured, evoker, over the next 100 days, Fungi the Mushroom Lord will be defeated. On day 3, I knew that I needed to seek shelter. I couldn't hope to defeat the mushroom monster if I didn't have a place to rest and hone my abilities. As an elemental wolf, I have deep knowledge of the ancestral home of the elemental wolves in the ancient forest. Perhaps I could seek shelter there. But when I arrived at the ancestral home, I was devastated to find that it was already in ruins. It looked like nobody had really lived there in centuries. This must mean I'm the last and only elemental wolf. No matter, I have a duty and I still need to see it through. I'll rebuild the ancestral home myself. I crafted a stone axe and chopped down trees to gather raw materials, then set about painstakingly repairing the broken ancestral home until it was a brand new base of mine. For a brief period, I took a break to admire how the work was coming along when a huge, vicious giant came charging out of the woods. He must have been another one of the Mushroom Lord's monsters. While the giant was big and I was small, I didn't back down. I held my ground and fought back against the huge creature until he was no more. And this act of heroism gave me the power I needed to become bigger and stronger. I also rose up to 20 hearts and gained the elemental ability to breathe fire. Yes, this is more like it. I spent the rest of the day finishing up work on the base, proud of myself for how well it was all developing. From day 4 to day 5, I ventured out further into the forest, wanting to find more wood and stone that would help me rebuild the ancestral home to its former glory. When I have a fortress that's truly fit for an elemental wolf, it'll give me the confidence I need to vanquish the Mushroom Lord and save the world. But I must have been talking about saving the Mushroom Lord a little too loudly, because suddenly, the same ghast I'd run away from earlier had popped out of the trees.
You insolent brat! You have no idea the power you're messing with! The Mushroom Lord is a god, and you are a mere ant!
Why are you so devoted to serving that nasty toadstool?
You have no idea the power he commands! They say he cannot be destroyed, and all who face him are doomed to fall ill and wither away! Such is his supreme toxic power!
The only thing that's toxic to your devotion is this evil wannabe ruler. So how about we cut the talk and fight this one out?
That's the first intelligent thing you've said all day.
The ghast was a formidable foe with his deadly exploding fireballs, but in the end, it was my elemental energy blast that won the day. The ghast was defeated, and I gathered up the materials I'd come to collect before making my way back to my base. From day 6 to day 8, I ventured into a deep, dark mine network that contained many treasures, secrets, and deadly enemies. I crept through carefully, trying not to attract any unwanted attention. I was here for one thing and one thing only: some valuable iron ore, perfect for upgrading my weapons. We'll see who wins, gross squishy mushrooms or reliable cold iron. I looked up after the mining was done, hearing footsteps. It was a ghost miner walking towards me out of the darkness. But once again, I wasn't going to fold. I unleashed my elemental flame breath on the ghost miner, easily defeating it. Then I proceeded further into the dusty old cave where I found an abandoned furnace. There I forged an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. The Mushroom Lord is gonna love these, I'm sure. From day 9 to day 10, I decided to leave the cave and the ancient forest and explore the autumnal valley. It's been an intense few days. I think I need to go to a nice, calm place and clear my head so I can make a plan of action. But because the universe has a cruel sense of humor, during this mission of relaxation, I found Fungi the Mushroom Lord himself waiting for me. A huge, terrifying fungus man.
Ah, so you're the little cub they call Zozo. You're far less impressive than I was led to believe. Such a shame. I thought having an interesting challenger might liven up this whole process.
This process being...
The great change. I will alter and rebuild this sad little world in my own image. So far, none have offered up a meaningful challenge, and I don't expect that you will change this.
Allow me to prove you wrong, Fungi. I unleashed my strongest attacks on him, Energy Blast, Fire Breath, and even the strikes of my new Iron Sword. But it had no effect. That's when he struck me with an Energy Blast of his own that almost destroyed me. All I could do was run away in terror. I ran as fast as my elemental wolf legs could carry me. Even when I could no longer see Fungi the Mushroom Lord, I still felt terrified of him. I don't think I'd ever been so close to total destruction. In my darkest moment yet, an air elemental appeared.
Be calm, child. Fear will not save you here.
How could I be calm? I couldn't even slightly hurt him, and hurting me was nothing to him. I'm outclassed here.
But Zozo, you're the only one who can defeat him. Do you not know of the prophecy about the elemental wolf?
Prophecy? Look, I don't want to talk here. He could pop up at any time. Come back to my base with me, the ancestral home of the elemental wolves. We'll talk more there. From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base to find the air elemental already there waiting for me. How did you do that?
I'm an air elemental, young Zozo. I can move as swift and silently as the wind.
Then I guess I better build you a new room. Right now, there's only one for me.
That would be much appreciated, Zozo.
I spent the rest of the afternoon building the air elemental a new room in the ancestral home. When it was done, he fitted in there nicely.
You have done well, Zozo. Allow me to give you your first mission. You must source armor.
But wolves can't wear armor, air elemental. What use would armor give me?
You're not going to wear it, Zozo. You're going to keep it in the chest at the ancestral home. Having it in there will harden the strength of your spirit. It's an ancient tradition, you see.
Very well, Master. I shall do this.
Good. Take this potion of strength should you encounter trouble on your way.
I returned to the cave where I mined for more iron ore. However, my little adventure was interrupted by a huge, terrifying deadworm burrowing through the ground towards me. I tried to shoot it with an energy blast, but it resisted the attack. I needed to quickly drink the potion of strength the air elemental had given me. That gave me the boost I needed to pull out my sword and finally defeat the beast. Then, I took the iron ore down to the underground furnace and smelted it into a full set of iron armor and finished my tool set. After that, I went back to my base and the air elemental created a chest in my room. I put all my new iron armor inside and just hoped that the air elemental was right. I'll take anything that can help me right now. From day 13 to day 15, I convened with the air elemental in his room. He told me that he wanted to tell me about the prophecy he had mentioned earlier. You said something about an elemental wolf prophecy?
Yes, that I did. It's an ancient one that I studied back when I was a mere monk, before ascending to the level of air elemental. The prophecy says that a darkness would rise up from the ground and spread evil and tyranny across the overworld. Many would fall, but in the end, a great hero, the final elemental wolf, would rise up, discover his true power, and turn back to the dark. I believe that prophesied one is you, Zozo.
But, that's impossible! The last time I fought Fungi the Mushroom Lord, I didn't leave a scratch on him, and he almost destroyed me. I can't be the one from the prophecy.
You can be, and I truly believe you are, Zozo. But you must train hard and fight with all you have. Only then can you stand a chance against the terror that faces you. Are you up for the challenge?
I'll have to think about it. From day 16 to day 19, I woke up to find that the base was eerily quiet. I searched around, but I couldn't find the air elemental anywhere. This isn't good. I sense that something terrible has happened. I need to follow my elemental intuition and find him before it gets any worse. I followed my senses out to the cold swamplands. There, I couldn't help but feel paranoid. It was like I was being watched every step I took. And those senses paid off because suddenly an ender creeper teleported in front of me.
The Mushroom Lord was right. You fell right into our trap, little silly woofy. And you think you're gonna be the one who defeats him? Embarrassing!
What did you do with the air elemental? If you hurt him all...
You're what? There's nothing you can do. Nothing except be destroyed.
The Ender Creeper ran at me, preparing to explode. He probably would have blown up half the swamplands if I hadn't hit him with a quick energy blast, destroying him before he had a chance to destroy me. Man, the people that the Mushroom Lord are sending after me really are dangerous. Suddenly, the air elemental popped out of nowhere. He must have been bound by some kind of dark magic until I defeated that awful Ender Creeper.
Zozo, you saved me! You're a true hero! Thank you so much for this!
Master Air Elemental, I'm so happy you're alive! This is amazing news!
I'm going to return to the base to regain my strength. Stay safe out here, Zozo. Fungi the Mushroom Lord has agents everywhere.
The air elemental left, and I continued exploring the eerie cold swamplands. During my search, I found a few zombies and was able to defeat them with my deadly iron sword. That gave me enough XP to level up again, becoming bigger, stronger, going as high as 30 hearts, and gaining a new ability, Claw Attacks. That feels appropriate for a wolf. I decided to leave the swamp, but on the way out, I ran into a wise-looking gold pig.
You seem like you're in a hurry, son.
Of course I am. I'm going to defeat Fungi the Mushroom Lord.
No, you're not.
What? Yes, I am.
No, you're not. Fungi the Mushroom Lord is a monster of pure evil. He's literally invincible. Unless you have the halo, which is almost impossible to get, there's no way you can beat him.
Oh. From day 20 to day 22, I returned to my base, only to see a couple more zombies milling around the grounds. The corruption of Fungi the Mushroom Lord seems to spread everywhere. I used my claw attacks to destroy the two zombies, then slinked off to my room, feeling defeated. Maybe there really was no way for me to defeat the Mushroom Lord. Maybe the prophecy was all nonsense. As if sensing my self-doubt, the air elemental wafted towards me.
Zozo, I've been working on something for you. I wanted to wait until it was done, but I think you need to see it now. It's a statue, a kind of monument, meant to inspire you and remind you of your inner strength. Perhaps you can help me finish it.
I went out behind my base and saw the beginnings of a statue. Already, it was amazing, even awe-inspiring. I felt so grateful to the air elemental for everything he'd done. Can you guess what it is yet? If you can, tell me down in the comments. And while you're down there, remember to subscribe to Zozo and hit the bell to make sure you never miss one of our adventures. From day 23 to day 26, a swarm of gas floated towards my base, launching explosive fireballs, trying to damage the statue we'd been working on.
Oh no, more of the Mushroom Lord's minions.
Don't worry, I'll handle them.
Be careful, Zozo.
I leaped into action. I had already taken on one gas, so I was feeling pretty confident about this fight. But they outnumbered me. I had to be careful not to take any hits. Since they'd come from the nether, the gas managed to resist my fire breath. But luckily, my energy blast seemed to do the trick. One of them even dropped an item I'd never seen before, a fire aspect enchantment for my sword. Wow, this is so cool. I'd better try it out. I ventured off to the Autumnal Valley to practice my new fire aspect sword on a horde of meandering zombies. Each hit of my new weapon made them burst into flames. Once the zombies were dispatched, a mysterious stranger approached me.
Wow, that's a mighty impressive blade you've got there.
Thanks. Who are you?
Well, I'm a weaponsmith, see? I specialize in quality crafted swords, bows, you name it. I've been trying to get to safety since the Mushroom Lord's forces started swarming all over the place. I don't suppose you know anywhere I could stay?
Sure, come back to my base in the ancient forest. We returned to my base, and the weaponsmith saw some of the damage the gas had left, so they suggested some ways we could improve the defenses, making my ancestral home better protected against attacks. I built a perimeter wall to keep the Mushroom Lord's minions at bay, and in return for giving me the idea, I surprised the weaponsmith with a new room that he could stay in.
This looks fantastic, Zozo. Thank you.
From day 27 to day 31, I decided to ask the weaponsmith if they knew anything about the Halo, the mystical item that could supposedly be used to defeat Fungi the Mushroom Lord once and for all.
Oh, yes, sir. I've heard many legends of such a thing. Supposedly, an ancient and powerful being fell from the sky many centuries ago. It was the first being to wield a halo, and it used the power to create the overworld and fill it with life. Then it created balance between all the elements, between light and dark, good and evil. But then the dark and evil it had created to balance out all the good tried to overthrow the mighty creature and steal the halo for their own dastardly means. In the end, the ancient thing cast its halo out into space. Some folks like to think it's what formed the heart of the sun and keeps it burning.
Huh, that's quite the story. You think you could forge a halo of our own?
Well, that's no small feat, Zozo. It would just be a knockoff if I made it. Besides, a halo requires a powerful being, one able to bring balance to all the elements in order to wield it. But the real thing could be out there somewhere. There's some stories about it being lost at the heart of the swampland, so maybe start there.
My search for the halo took me into the swamplands again, but I wasn't able to get very far. A witch ambushed me, sent by the Mushroom Lord to stop my progress. The witch was wielding dangerous spells, and although I fired a few energy blasts back, I couldn't get close enough to use my claw attacks, so I had to retreat. From day 32 to day 35, I was still determined to track down the ancient halo. Maybe the prophecy of the elemental wolf meant I could wield it and use its power to stop the Mushroom Lord. I ventured back to the cold swamplands, and luckily that pesky witch had gone. But the place wasn't empty. Completely by chance, I stumbled across a weird creature that looked like a mix between a chicken and some kind of lizard. Hey, what the heck are you?
Why, I'm a cockatrice, but my friends all call me Clarence.
Are you with the Mushroom Lord? I heard he controls all sorts of monsters and mutants.
That's rude. I'm actually trying to get away from the Mushroom Lord.
Sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. Say, why don't you come back to the ancient forest? My base is there.
Sounds like a plan, Zozo. I'll see you there.
Clarence ran out of sight, adding another person to my forces in the war against evil. But then, all of a sudden, the Mushroom Lord emerged.
Clarence, there's no use in hiding. You will be mine.
Oh no, I need to make myself scarce. Before the Mushroom Lord could see me, I quickly dug a small pit into the ground and hid in it until he passed through. Phew, that was a close one. From day 36 to day 39, I made my way back to my base, where Clarence was waiting for me. I immediately started working on a comfy new room for him, and when the room was done, Clarence and I sat inside, discussing our common enemy. So, what made you want to leave the Mushroom Lord's armies?
He's just so cruel. All he cares about is controlling the overworld and making everyone do his bidding. Some of us just want to live our lives, do our own thing without him telling us what to do all the time.
Say, Clarence, I've been searching for a halo so I can use its power to stop the Mushroom Lord once and for all. Do you think you could help me find it?
Well, what do you know? I heard about something like that. They say that the halo glows bright with the heat of the heavens, so why don't you head someplace hot to find your halo?
That's a pretty good idea. I'll head to the desert. Things are pretty hot out there.
Listen, Zozo, I wanted to repay you for letting me stay. I noticed you had an unfinished statue outside, so I thought I'd give you a hand with it. What do you think?
I went to take a look at the statue's progress. Whoa, I'm really impressed. Thanks, Clarence. You didn't need to do that. I'm happy to help, but I still appreciate the gesture. The statue is looking better than ever, a large recreation of an elemental wolf like me that perfectly told everyone around not to mess with us and that this forest was protected. Even if the statue was unfinished, seeing it closer to completion made me feel inspired. From day 40 to day 43, the weaponsmith informed me that I'd need some much stronger gear if I was going to explore the desert in search of a magic halo.
Listen here, Zozo. You don't want to get stuck in the desert without the right equipment. Luckily, I can make you what you need. I just need you to head into a cave near here to grab the right materials.
No problem.
Just be careful. There could be all sorts of critters down there.
I set off to the cave that the weaponsmith had pointed out, and it didn't take long for me to meet some critters, just like they'd warned me. I had to fight my way through the nasty insects, but lucky for me, my fire aspect sword was burning through them pretty easily. It was only as I got deeper into the cave that I discovered a nest of the bugs with a Myrmex queen in the center. I used an energy blast to clear the path. Too much fire, and I'd run the risk of getting burned myself. With the nest cleared out, I found what I needed: diamonds! Bringing them back to the weaponsmith, they were able to turn the diamonds into a matching diamond pickaxe and diamond sword for me. Now I was ready to head off to the desert. From day 44 to day 49, I was certainly glad to have a diamond sword handy. When I first made my long journey to the desert, I encountered a troll, a huge, ugly beast that tried to smash me to pieces. Luckily, I was able to dodge out of the path of his attacks. He was much bigger and slower, so my wolf speed made it easier to duck and weave between his clumsy, cumbersome swings before I could land the final blow with my sword. With the troll defeated and out of my way, I continued towards the desert. But when I arrived, it was clear just how dangerous this place was. Someone was already in trouble.
Help! Somebody, help!
It was a Cyclops who was being crowded by vicious husks. They were using the fact he had only one eye to take swipes at him from all sides. I jumped right in to help, hacking all the husks down.
Wow, thanks so much for your help.
No problem. I don't suppose you know where I can find the ancient halo?
The halo? I'm pretty sure there's an old temple around here somewhere that might have what you seek. Come on, I'll lead you there. Just keep an eye out for more husks, will ya?
From day 50 to day 53, we made our journey to the ancient temple and looked around. The place was pretty much deserted, all just ruins like when I had found what was left of my ancestral home back in the forest. The Cyclops and I went into separate directions to search, leaving each of us alone. Suddenly, I was confronted by the witch I'd found in the swamp.
You again. I'll deal with this meddlesome pup once and for all. Then I'll find that halo and destroy it to win favor with the Mushroom Lord.
Our battle began, and I had to move out of the path of the witch's spells. I'd faced off against that powerful magic before, and it had almost taken me out. But I had more experience now. I'd learned from my past defeats, and I'd come with new weapons. So I leapt into action and swiped my diamond sword at the witch. It worked! I landed some strong hits, then used the rubble of the temple as cover. Jumping back out at the right time, I was finally able to beat the witch for good. The Cyclops had been hiding, but reappeared to show me around the temple. There was a hidden area underneath the floor.
Go down there alone, Zozo. I'm way too scared.
I went into the underground area alone, and there we found something I never expected to see. It wasn't the halo, it was a lightning dragon.
Ah, you must have come seeking the halo. Sorry to disappoint, but don't worry, you're on the right path. You cannot merely find the halo, it must find you.
How can I make it find me?
You must master balance, Zozo. Become the balance of all elements. Then, and only then, will you find what you seek.
From day 54 to day 57, I made the long journey back to my base. When I arrived, I was so happy to see how much it had improved. I took a look at all the upgrades that my friends had made while I'd been gone. There were more defensive walls around the perimeter. We even had a watchtower where I could keep a lookout for the Mushroom Lord's forces. It was all coming together really nicely. I spoke with my mentor, the Air Elemental, about the advice the Lightning Dragon had given me.
Achieving balance between the elements is your destiny, Zozo. But it's no easy task. You need to seek out the root of evil and start tipping the scales. And as you do, you'll learn more with every victory. Here, there is one of the Mushroom Lord's cronies scouring the ancient forest for you. Go and tilt the scales back towards balance.
I set off to find the Mushroom Lord's mob, and sure enough, discovered a Dreadlich. This thing was scary. I'd never fought anything like it before, but my focus was on my goal. I had to master the elements and bring back balance, and I used that to guide me through the fight. With my goal in mind, battling the Dreadlich seemed easy by comparison, and it fell at my Flame Breath and Diamond Blade. I moved as swift as the air with the ferocity of fire and held my ground with the strength of earth. I was starting to learn what it really meant to be an elemental wolf. When I returned back to my base, the weaponsmith had a new diamond helmet forged for me, so I added it to my armor chest, feeling happy I was making so much progress. From day 58 to day 62, I was woken up by the weaponsmith, who seemed super excited to show me something.
Come, take a look, Zozo. We've been working hard on getting this place looking mighty fine. Come see the best part.
It was the statue. It had been almost finished, and it looked amazing. It towered over the main area of the fortress, proud and awe-inspiring. I was so happy to see it almost finished. It looks awesome, thanks so much. Suddenly, an explosive fireball rocked one of our walls. I ran outside to see the air elemental panicking.
Zozo, ghasts are attacking. We need to fend them off. Remember what you've learned about balance.
Yes, Master. You and all the others should hide in the buildings. I'll take them all on. With everyone else in safety, it was time for me to take on the ghast attackers. I hopped into the fray. This time, I tried to imagine water, how fluidly it moved, but also how strong and dangerous it could be. My elements had all the strength and speed of a flash flood, and it meant I was able to take down all of the ghasts in no time. But I wasn't fast enough to save one of my friends. A ghast had launched a fireball as it ran away, retreating to the Mushroom Lord, and the fireball had struck my trusty weaponsmith! From day 63 to day 66, I was still feeling sad at the loss of my friend, the weaponsmith. I had decided to venture back to the desert to seek more information from the lightning dragon. Although I was sad, I wanted to use the halo to stop the evil Mushroom Lord. I remembered my goal, balance. Not just balancing the elements, but also finding the right balance of my emotions too. I allowed myself to be sad for my friend, but also had to make sure I didn't let anger or hatred get the better of me. When I returned to the temple in the desert, the lightning dragon was nowhere to be found. That was strange, I thought, but then again, he had been cooped up underground for who knows how many centuries. Maybe he just needed to get out and do some sightseeing. But in his place was an old book. He must have left it behind. I opened it up to read, and it told the story of the halo in much more detail. And even better, there was a clue about where to look for it. I couldn't allow myself to get impatient. Learn how to master balance, and the halo would find me. That's what the dragon told me. Suddenly, I was attacked by the ghast, the one who had escaped. This was my chance to defeat it, but while I could have done so out of revenge for my fallen friend, the weaponsmith, instead, I remembered my lessons about balance and dealt with the last ghast. From day 67 to day 70, I headed into the heart of the ancient forest like the book had suggested. There was a sinister fortress waiting for me. It was the Mushroom Lord's hideout. It was no wonder his forces had been able to find my base so easily and so many times. His base wasn't far from mine. It had been under my nose the whole time. I tried to get closer to the fortress, but it was guarded on all sides by mutant zombies.
Halt! By order of the Mushroom Lord!
I'm not halting for him. His time is up. I need to end his reign of terror once and for all. I attacked the mutant zombie and easily chopped it down, but in the commotion, more of them started swarming to my location. There was a huge horde, too many for me to take down alone. Just as I was about to be defeated, I heard the voice of the air elemental in my head.
Zozo, don't give up hope. Things are tough right now, but you can't take on the Mushroom Lord until you're ready. Get to safety.
With that, I ran back to a safe distance where the air elemental was waiting for me. From day 71 to day 74, once we had made our way to safety, the air elemental noticed my discomfort.
I know you're frustrated, Zozo, but you can't give in to that frustration if you hope to succeed. I understand, we all do, but you just want to do right by others. But don't worry, victory will come in its own time.
As we headed back to our base, we came across a note that some of the Mushroom Lord's forces had left on a tree. We thought it was to send a message to all of his various mutants and monsters, but it was entirely possible he wanted to brag to me specifically.
Good news, my minions. I have in my possession the ancient halo. It was not lost. I have had it all along. But we cannot be complacent. The last thing we want is Zozo getting his hands on it. So be alert. And if you spot that elemental wolf, you know what to do!
The air elemental offered me some food to replenish my hunger, and we continued towards the base. From day 75 to day 78, we returned to my base in the ancient forest. Although my spirits were pretty low, seeing how much my home had been improved was enough to make me smile again. The place had gotten much bigger, not quite the size of the Mushroom Lord's fungal fortress, but still with more rooms and better storage and crafting areas. It reminded me of the weaponsmith and how he'd be proud to see how far we'd come. Suddenly, there was an attacker at the perimeter wall. It was one of the mutant zombies. It must have followed our trail back from the Mushroom Lord's base. Immediately, I went in to attack it, but not out of anger. I had to make sure to follow the air elemental's teachings and not let myself be too frustrated. I fought with all the ferocity of fire, but also the calmness of still water. I stood my ground like stone and finally moved with the swift speed of the air. I was in tune with all the elements, and it allowed me to beat the mutant zombie. To my surprise, I leveled up. My victory had made me even stronger. I now had 50 hearts and a new understanding of my elemental abilities. This gave me a special power, the Dragon Fireball Attack. Even better, the mutant zombie dropped a clue. Fungi the Mushroom Lord was going to be in the Autumnal Valley soon. From day 79 to day 84, I headed off to the Autumnal Valley, where I had first encountered the Mushroom Lord. Back then, I had learned that he was planning to unleash the Great Change and turn everything in the overworld into an awful fungus-filled realm. But how was he going to do it? Was that what he needed the halo for? And why come to this place specifically? My thoughts were interrupted by another cockatrice popping out in front of me. Hey, who are you?
I'm Carl the Cockatrice, and you must be Zozo the Elemental Wolf.
So, are you friendly like Clarence? I know not all cockatrices agree with the Mushroom Lord.
Oh, you want to find the Mushroom Lord? Well, he's planning to use the winds here to carry his fungus spores across the overworld. Here, I can take you to him.
I trusted the cockatrice like Clarence, but to my surprise, he turned on me. He was still loyal to fungi. We battled, and I used my dragon fireball attack to finish off Carl. From day 85 to day 89, I decided to find anyone else that could help me put a stop to Fungi the Mushroom Lord's plans. I thought the most knowledgeable person to ask, after my mentor the Air Elemental, would be the Lightning Dragon. So I headed back to the temple where he had been before. But sadly, he still hadn't returned. That's when the Cyclops popped back up.
Oh, hey there, Zozo!
Hi, you're the Cyclops from before, right?
Yes, sir. Simon's the name. Didn't get a chance to thank you for dealing with that witch and those zombies before.
No problem. I don't suppose you know where the dragon went?
No idea. Haven't seen him since he left the temple.
That's a shame. I really needed his advice.
Anything I can help with? It's the least I could do after you helped me out.
I don't suppose you know how I can get the Halo and defeat Fungi the Mushroom Lord?
Fungi? Well, the Halo would help you for sure, but you mean you haven't tried netherite yet?
Netherite?
Yeah, fungi's weak to netherite. And lucky for you, I know a place you can get yourself some.
From day 90 to day 94, I headed off to the place that Simon the Cyclops had pointed out for me. It was a cave where apparently someone had stashed some netherite ingots and forgotten about them. I kept my guard up. After being betrayed by Carl, I couldn't be 100% sure that this wasn't a trap. And at any rate, the last time I was in a cave, I had a whole nest of nasty mermexes to clear out. But much to my pleasant surprise, I found the chest without any trouble, and sure enough, it was filled with netherite ingots. But I couldn't just hurl them at fungi and call it a day. No, I needed to craft them into something that could help me win the day. I thought back to my old friend the weaponsmith, and it gave me the perfect idea. I'd make a netherite sword. Luckily, there was something that looked like a smithy right next to me. By combining the ingots with my trusty diamond sword, I was able to turn it into a brand new netherite sword, one that would weaken the Mushroom Lord when we next battled. From day 95 to day 97, I made my way back to my base in the ancient forest. It had been a long journey, and the ancestral home of my fellow elemental wolves was almost restored to its former glory. There was just one final touch.
Here, Zozo, we've been working on it to keep your spirits up, but you should be the one to put the final piece in place.
With that, I added the final piece to the elemental wolf statue. With the statue done, the air elemental approached me.
It's time, Zozo. You've learned much about harnessing the elements and restoring balance to the overworld. Before you face the Mushroom Lord once more, you deserve to give yourself a moment to remember just how far you've come and just how much progress you've made.
Taking a moment, I realized that I'd grown and gotten stronger as the statue had gotten bigger. It was there as a reminder of how much I'd gone through and how big I felt on the inside now. It had been one heck of a journey and not always an easy one, but I wasn't the same wolf cub that I'd been when I started. Ow! On day 98, I got ready to set off to take on Fungi the Mushroom Lord one more time. First, I spoke to Clarence the Cockatrice. Well, Clarence, this might be goodbye for good.
Zozo, wait! I want to come with you.
Are you sure? I thought you were scared of the Mushroom Lord.
I am, or at least I was, but I should have stood up to him instead of running away. If you're gonna take him down, then now's as good of a time as any for me to do what I should have done from the start.
Glad to have you with me, Clarence. As we went to leave, my air elemental mentor had one final bit of wisdom to impart.
Zozo, you must remember all you've learned. You can restore balance as an elemental wolf with the halo in your possession. You'll be able to bring all the elements of the overworld into harmony once again. But there is one final thing you must do. If you've been enjoying this video, be sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel.
On day 99, Clarence and I marched up to the huge fungal fortress of the Mushroom Lord. Our plan was to get inside, weaken Fungi, and get the halo back from him. We were met by a horde of zombies ahead of us, but I remembered all I had learned so far and relied on my elemental powers to fight back. My dragon fireball attack took out a bunch of them as I used fire and air at the same time. I swung my netherite sword at the zombies, taking them out in one hit. The air was guiding my sword, and the netherite hiding within the earth was strengthening my blows. The zombies had once been a challenge with their numbers, but now I was better attuned with the balance of the elements, staying calm and cutting through them, one by one. As more and more zombies flooded out, Clarence hung back to distract them, and I ran right into the base, ready to take down the Mushroom Lord himself. On day 100, I searched the Fungus Fortress for the Mushroom Lord, but instead, I found what I'd been looking for, the halo! But it was guarded by a mighty Pigless. I used all of the elements to defeat him! And sure enough, just like the Lightning Dragon had promised, I obtained the halo! I leveled up, getting 80 hearts, and even one more extra ability, a Lightning Blast! I hurled crackling bolts of lightning at the Pigless! Before long, they had been defeated, which only left their master.
Zozo, you won't stop the great change. Even with that blasted halo, you'll never stop my plans. Soon the overworld will be mine, a filthy fungus-ridden paradise for me to rule over.
No, Fungi, you'll never win! I have mastered all the elements, but most importantly, I know why you'll never win. Because there must be balance. The overworld can't just be one thing.
Foolish wolf, you have been a thorn in my side for too long.
Right before my eyes, Fungi the Mushroom Lord grew into a huge version of himself. Although I was surprised, I didn't let my fear rule me. After all, two could play that game. I channeled the balance of all the elements and called on the power of the halo to transform into my ultimate form. Awoo! The battle was on! I swiped at Fungi with my netherite sword, and it worked! Simon was right. Netherite made him weaker. I fought with all the attacks at my disposal, Energy Blast, then followed up with a Claw attack, and some extra Dragon Fireball and Lightning Strikes for good measure. The netherite made my attacks do some real lasting damage. The Mushroom Lord was almost beaten. I summoned up all the elements, earth, wind, fire, the water, lightning, and energy of the overworld, and channeled them into one last swing of my sword. Boom! It worked! Fungi the Mushroom Lord was defeated! He exploded into tiny little spores. But this wasn't a chance for me to be cruel, so I called up the wind to carry his spores across the overworld, just enough so that fungus and mushrooms would grow. After all, everything had to be balanced. That was my job as the Elemental Wolf. On day 1, I spawned into the Baobab Savannah as the mighty Electric Tiger. Well, at least a baby version of an Electric Tiger. But if I work hard and train, I can live fully up to my Electric Tiger potential.
Oh no you won't.
I looked in front of me and saw a massive, hulking squall golem thundering towards me. He was so much bigger than me, the size difference was terrifying. Listen, mister, I don't want any trouble. I'm Zozo. What's your name?
My name's Mike, and I'm here to fight.
But why? That doesn't even rhyme.
Yes, it does. If I say it rhymes, it rhymes. I'm the strongest creature in the world. Nothing challenges me anymore, and the only way to relieve the boredom is getting into fights with anyone I can.
But…
No buts, weakling, or I'll kick yours. Here's the deal. I'm gonna give you 100 days. You better use them well, kid, and get as strong as possible. Strong enough to have an interesting fight with me. 'Cause if you don't, I'm gonna find you and pound you until you're nothing more than a little Electric Tiger stain in the floor. Now run.
Mike the Squall Golem didn't have to tell me twice. I turned and ran away as quickly as possible, while Mike just laughed at me. He seemed like my most formidable opponent yet. 100 days. I need to get real strong in that time, or Mike really is gonna destroy me. On day 2, I continued running through the Baobab Savannah, not stopping until I was confident that Mike the Squall Golem was nowhere to be seen. Phew, that was a close one. If he'd attacked me in that state, I would have been a goner. I only have 10 hearts. I wonder if I have any special abilities. Without even realizing I could, I released a blast of electrical energy from my paw. The electricity is eliminated from me and charges up the air around me. That must have been one of my basic Electric Tiger abilities. Whoa, maybe I'm not as helpless as I thought. Wait, do I see a pear tree there? I should grab one. I grabbed a few pears and ate them. Even if my hunger was full, I just couldn't resist it. Things were looking up already. At least I wasn't gonna be hungry. But my contentment didn't last for long. A scary plant-like whisperer rustled its way towards me. It wasn't as big as Mike, but it was definitely freaky. Oh no, I have a feeling I know who you work for.
You feel correctly, Zozo. You really think you can beat Mike? He's the GOAT.
Goat? He's a squall golem.
No, GOAT is an acronym. He is the greatest of all time. GOAT. And that's why you've got no hope against him.
Then why even bother coming after me? I didn't even want to fight.
I'm gonna destroy you myself to save Mike his time.
As the Whisperer approached me, I fired my energy blast, but it didn't even slow him down. All I could do was run away, knowing that even with my energy blast, I had no hope of fighting him. I was hiding behind a small clutch of trees when suddenly a wind caller teleported in front of me.
Come with me if you want to live.
Sure, let's go. I'll follow you.
Wow, people normally have questions. Let's go.
The wind caller ran off, and I followed him without question, happy to finally have someone on my side. On day 3, I continued following the wind caller deeper into the baobab savanna. He seemed to have confidence and power. It definitely made me feel safer around him.
I've been waiting for you to arrive, Zozo. You have no idea how many people have anticipated this special day.
Special? This doesn't feel that special, aside from you saving my life from all the weird creeps who have been trying to attack me.
Those weird creeps, as you aptly put it, have been bothering people for quite some time. But if you stick with me and my allies, we might be able to change that together.
The wind caller led me to a small shack, leaving me to talk to its inhabitant, a mysterious figure called the Illusioner.
So, you are the one the wind caller selected, You don't appear all that strong, but perhaps that will change.
I still don't understand what's happening here. Who are all of you people? And what does any of this have to do with me or that nasty squaggle Mike?
Windcaller and I are just 2 members of a secret group called the Order of the Shield. For years, we have made it our purpose to find and train a champion capable of destroying Mike and ending his reign of terror. If you accept this responsibility, we will do all we can to help you realize your destiny.
Well, seeing as Mike is gonna come after me anyway, I agree to working with you.
Good. Go with Windcaller. There is no time to waste. You must get strong enough to defeat Mike once and for all.
From day 4 to day 5, the Windcaller and I went deeper into the baobab savanna. We didn't stop until we found an area that was big and flat enough to start constructing a base. First, I knocked down a tree and used its resources to construct a wooden pickaxe. I then mined into the ground and collected enough stone to create my first set of real tools, a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. From there, I gathered more stone and granite and made a basic base with a bed for myself and another one for the Windcaller to stay in with me.
You've done great work here, Zozo. You show promise. With time, you will become a great warrior, capable of taking on Mike and showing him what we are all capable of.
I want to get stronger, Windcaller, but I'm not sure where to start. How can I become more powerful?
I can help you with that, Zozo. I'll give you a portion of my power, and that will give you a foundation to build on. Stay still, please.
The Windcaller fired an energy blast at me. The second it hit me, I started growing, becoming bigger, and had the ability to summon lightning strikes. I tried it out on some grass, and it was fantastic. Wow, I'm really starting to live up to my electric tiger name now. From day 6 to day 8, I decided to explore a new part of the savannah and test out my new powers for real. Energy blasts and lightning strikes. I'm a force to be reckoned with. And those powers would soon come in handy because I saw an innocent fungus thrower being attacked by that nasty Whisperer who had attacked me earlier. I'm not gonna let this stand. As I ran in, the Whisperer's attention was turned to me and the fungus thrower was able to escape. It was just me and my old enemy now. Hey, you ugly plant.
You again? I didn't expect to see you after you ran off like a coward last time.
I'm no coward, Whisperer, and I'm about to prove it.
Talk is cheap, Tiger Boy. Let's go.
I unleashed a powerful lightning strike on the Whisperer, and this time it was completely destroyed. My electric tiger powers were coming in clutch already. Yo, fungus thrower, it's safe to come out now. I'm friendly, I promise. When I found him on the beach, the poor lad was shivering from fear.
Dude, that was scary, but also amazing. I thought I was a goner, and then you came in like a superhero, like bam, zow, kapow. It was awesome.
Well, I don't like to brag, but I guess it was pretty awesome.
You're real good at this whole fighting bad guys thing, dude. Tell you what, I know there's a real nasty bad guy not far from here. Follow me. Let's see if you can beat him.
Sure, it couldn't hurt to try. Let's go. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the fungus thrower into the bamboo jungle until we reached a clearing. There, a freaky frozen zombie was waiting. Yikes, that thing seems unpleasant, but a promise is a promise. I ran in and unleashed a lightning strike against the frozen zombie, but it didn't seem to do anything other than annoy this particularly frosty member of the living dead. The frozen zombie chased me, and all I could do was run away as fast as I could. When I'd managed to lose the frozen zombie, I rendezvoused with the fungus thrower again. I'm really sorry for letting you down on this one, man, but I just don't think I'm strong enough to take down that frozen zombie yet.
It's chill, dude. You did your best, and that's what matters.
Tell you what, why don't you come and stay at my base while I get stronger? You seem like a cool guy. I'd love to hang out with you some more.
Oh, you're too sweet, man. Let's do it.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with the fungus thrower. It was exciting to have another friend added to my team. Fungus thrower left to relax while I built a new room for him, along with the rooms for me and the wind caller. What do you think, buddy?
This looks awesome, Zozo! I can't wait to hang out here! And hey, I got a little restless while you were building the bedroom, so I built a couple of upgrades of my own. Go take a look!
The upgrades that the fungus thrower had created were truly awesome. He'd made a beautiful path connecting all the buildings and a storage room for the base, with a furnace that I could use to smelt and forge metal. Say, that gives me an idea. I searched until I found a cave that might contain some valuable materials, and sure enough, right at the entrance, I found a rich vein of iron ore. I mined and collected a bunch of it before going back to my base. Once I was there, I used my furnace to smelt the ore into ingots. Then I made a full set of iron tools. I still had a little left over, so I used that to make an iron helmet and a chest plate. This looks awesome! So I've got shelter and weaponry covered. Now, I need to make sure my food sources are sustainable too. I built a small chicken farm on my base and herded a few chickens inside, so I'd never run out of eggs or yummy chicken. From day 13 to day 15, I spoke to my mentor, the wind caller, and asked him if he knew any other ways I could train and get stronger.
A very good question, Zozo. To become a better fighter, you need to fight and hone your battle tactics. I've heard reports of another one of those sinister whisperers wandering around the bamboo jungle. Go out there and defeat it to grow your strength.
Because everything Windcaller had said so far hadn't led me astray, I followed his advice and went out to the bamboo jungle again. I searched until I found the whisperer that Windcaller had told me about.
I will destroy you in the name of Mike.
Not if I destroy you first, Whisperer. With my new iron sword, it wasn't hard to battle the Whisperer into submission. When the Whisperer was destroyed, it dropped a potion of strength onto the ground. Perfect timing. I was starting to feel super thirsty. I picked up the potion of strength and drank it, and I felt the change immediately. I started to get bigger, stronger, and my hearts grew to 30. The Windcaller was right. Fighting that Whisperer did make me stronger. From day 16 to day 19, I continued exploring the overworld until I came upon the Cypress Swamplands. It was a strange, mystical place, and the more I wandered around, the more I got the sense that something important was waiting for me here. And that feeling proved to be right when I came upon an ancient book of secrets laying around. I decided that it might be worth reading, so I flipped through until I found a section called How to Defeat Squall Golems. Wow, that's appropriate. A section read, the stony flesh of a squall golem may seem impenetrable. Even diamond swords and the strongest of arrows just seem to bounce off. But if one could obtain a sword of netherite, then the playing field would be evened. A netherite sword? I need to get my hands on one of those then. My moment of victory was interrupted by a pair of whisperers suddenly appearing and wandering towards me. They must have come here to stop me from reading this book of secrets. You overgrown weeds can't scare me. With my lightning strikes and energy blasts, the three whisperers were destroyed for good. From day 20 to day 22, knowing that I needed a netherite sword to truly defeat Mike the Squall Golem, I went back to the mining cave looking for more material. Sadly, I couldn't find any diamonds or netherite down there, just more iron ore. I mined a bunch of it and went back to my base where I smelted it into ingots and made myself the rest of my iron armor. If you can't invest in your attacks, you might as well invest in your defense. My recent increase in strength reminded me of an old unsettled score. I needed to defeat the frozen zombie for my friend the fungus thrower. Time to send that zombie to its eternal resting place. I returned to the bamboo jungle and hunted down the frozen zombie that had given me trouble all those days ago. With my iron sword, I was able to defeat the nasty undead once and for all. It probably won't be long before I'm strong enough to take on Mike and win.
I wouldn't be so sure, weakling.
I turned and saw Mike himself was standing right behind me. I wanted to run, but this time I stood my ground. I'm not scared of you anymore, Mike. I know the secret. I just need to get my hands on a netherite sword. I'm a champion of the Order of the Shield. What's so funny?
You think you're the first champion? You think you're the only one who knows about netherite swords? I've destroyed 100 foolish champions like you, and you'll make it 101.
Mike punched me, taking off a frightening number of hearts. All I could do was run for my life. I was clearly still not strong enough to face him yet. From day 23 to day 26, I went back to my base and informed the fungus thrower that I defeated the frozen zombie of the bamboo forest.
Way to go, Zozo! You've no doubt achieved a whole new level of strength from that battle.
And I plan to get even stronger now that I was able to fulfill my promise to you.
Oh yeah, buddy! I know you can!
I knew that I needed stronger materials in my inventory if I really wanted to work my way up to that netherite sword, so I went digging for more iron in my mining cave. While there were still no diamonds to be found, the iron ore was plentiful. I helped myself to as much of the iron as I could carry and smelted a bunch of it down into some more ingots. I made a temporary smelting location to smelt the iron while I mined. I already had a set of iron tools and armor, so out of all the iron, I made an anvil so we can repair our gear when it loses durability. My pickaxe can be the first candidate to get repaired. Once I was done mining, I went above ground to my base where Windcaller was waiting for me.
Zozo, I've given the base a new addition that will be sure to keep you safe while you build up your strength.
That sure is nice of you.
Consider it my thanks for all the hard work you've put in so far.
I went to see what the Windcaller had added to the base and found a well-constructed security bunker to hide in case of invasion. This looks like it will come in handy. From day 27 to day 31, I was far away from the base, exploring the cypress swamplands when I had first learned about the existence of netherite swords. If I remember my last visit correctly, I also defeated a couple of whisperers while I was here. The whole area looked totally peaceful now, without any of Mike's minions to be seen. As I was taking in the pleasant vibes, I was approached by a kindly Fletcher, who seemed rather happy that the swamplands were free of baddies.
Wowee zowie! You must be Zozo the Electric Tiger. I heard you took down those whisperers some days ago.
That's me. I'm the toughest, and only Electric Tiger around.
That's wicked awesome. It's good to know that there are people out there looking for strength who are also nice and willing to stand up for the weak.
I will do my best to help those in need.
I heard there were some other whisperers skulking around and looking to challenge you. They must really want to stand up for that Mike guy.
I can take them. Do you know where they are?
Not right now, but they'd probably hunt me down and try to beat me up if they knew I told you that. Then they'd be right here in the swamp again.
I know. What if you stayed at my base for a while? At least until I have my match with Mike. That way, I can protect you. The Fletcher agreed, and together we went back to my base where I added a base extension. I made a small outdoors library with a few couches to have a nice cozy place to relax. The books that I put on the shelves would teach me strategies and techniques for winning battles. Because knowledge is power. Later, I was approached by Windcaller, who had some bad news.
Zozo, we have to come with you again. Mike's minions have discovered the Order of the Shield and are attacking its members. We need to check on the Illusioner before he could be next.
Oh no, that sounds serious. Let's go! From day 32 to day 35, Windcaller and I crossed the Baobab Savannah to reach the Illusioner's shack. When we found the place, it was too late. The shack was under attack by a Whisperer, and the Illusioner was desperately fighting for his life.
You Order of the Shield fools can't win. Mike makes right. The saying is might makes right. What you said is just silly. You're calling us silly? Just for that, you're going to die.
The Whisperer destroyed the Illusioner right before our eyes. You monsters!
Talk about pathetic. Is this all the Order of the Shield is made of?
You're dead wrong. I'm Zozo, the Electric Tiger. I am the champion, and I'll show you how strong I am. I called down a lightning strike, getting the Whisperer's attention and dealing a bunch of damage in the process. With a few swings of my iron sword, I made that Whisperer pay for what it did to the Illusioner. More Whisperers emerged from the edges. I was so angry, I didn't even need to use my energy blasts to bring the pain and take them all down. When the battle was over, Windcaller and I planned what our next move would be.
We need to be on the lookout for any other mobs that are working for Mike.
Curse him! We were too late to save the Illusioner from his rampage.
We'll keep an eye out for the other surviving members of the Order of the Shield, and once we're together, we'll help you become the strongest champion you can be.
From day 36 to day 39, I returned to the bamboo jungle so I could practice all my most powerful fighting moves in a safe place where none of my friends would get hurt. I was tossing around Energy Blast when I blasted away some bamboo and found an iron golem hiding nearby.
Whoa, easy with those blasts. You could knock somebody out with those.
My apologies, I didn't know you were here. Sometimes I don't know my own strength.
Oh, no, it's okay. I actually have been searching for someone strong enough to defeat the ruthless roaming Ravager.
If it's a worthy opponent that gives me a chance to test my skills, then I'm 100% game. Where is this Ravager anyway?
I'll show the way, almighty Electric Tiger.
I was brought to another part of the bamboo forest where the ruthless roaming Ravager was running around. It was my time to bring that bad boy down. I fired some energy blasts from my paws, and the Ravager responded by jumping over to me and making a few attacks. I countered with my iron sword. The battle raged on for a while, but I knew from the start I would come out on top. And I was right! I returned to the Iron Golem to tell him that I had successfully defeated that rascally Ravager.
Ha, you really are one tough tiger.
That's for sure. From day 40 to day 43, I was in the base and decided to see how the fungus thrower was doing. It looked like he had been hard at work decorating the base with all sorts of tiger-patterned banners and paintings. This base looks absolutely awesome now. Good job, Fungus.
I'm glad you like it. I was just sprucing the place up in preparation for the pigs I invited over.
You invited pigs?
Yep, I invited some pigs because I thought they might enjoy themselves here.
That's a bad pun, but not a bad idea. I say yes.
Fantastic! I mean, fantastic!
The pigs that Fungus Thrower invited arrived soon after and were the life of the party. I even got to train my defenses against their classic pig pile technique. After entertaining our fine piggy guests for a while, I went for a walk out in the base and ran into Fletcher. Everything all right, Fletcher?
I'm worried about my home back in the Cypress Swamplands. Do you think you could go check on it just to be safe?
Sure, buddy. It's the least I can do for a friend. From day 44 to day 49, I went back to the Cypress Swamplands like Fletcher wanted me to. I was expecting there might be a few whisperers milling about, but I never imagined that I'd see Mike himself.
What up, Tiger? Ready to take another shot at the big man?
Mike, this should be between you and me. What you did to the Order of the Shield was unforgivable.
Nah, no way. I've been beefing with those bozos since long before you showed up. And if you're the chosen champion they kept talking about, then I had to take them down before you become any stronger.
So you did it because you're afraid I'll get stronger than you? Well, now you've made sure it'll happen. I will beat you, Mike, one of these days.
You want to make this personal, huh? Alright, let's make it personal. See if you can take on my man, the Piglin Brute.
To my surprise, Mike ran off and stuck me fighting with one big mean mob that he called a Piglin Brute. It sure did live up to its name.
I'm about to show you why they call me the Piglin Brute. Because I'm brutal.
Yeah, I already got that.
Put up your dukes, Electric Tiger.
He slammed me with an attack that was definitely brutal, but thankfully my iron helmet was able to soak up some of the damage. I traded blows using my sword and started to wear him down, but the knockback of his attacks was giving me some trouble. This will be a tough fight. From day 50 to day 53, I had started to use my energy blast to continue to deal damage to the Piglin Brute. He didn't show much signs of tiring, but then again, neither did I.
I can see why the Order of the Shield was impressed by you, but you can't really be the champion who will defeat Mike because I'm about to take you down.
Wouldn't bet on it, Brute. I launched a couple of strikes at the Brute, then I hit him with my sword and knocked him off balance so I could defeat him with some classic Electric Tiger Energy Blast. Bye-bye, Brute. You were my biggest and meanest opponent yet, but I've won this round. The Piglin Brute disappeared, and I soon found an item that he dropped. It was a map leading to Mike's fight club. This is quite a discovery. I didn't know whether Mike expected me to find this or not, but either way, this meant that I could go to his base whenever I wanted. From day 54 to day 57, I cleared the Cypress Swamplands of all remaining hostile mobs so that Fletcher wouldn't have to worry anymore. The last one in the area was especially tough, a Vindicator who could take a lot of hits from my iron sword. I really had to stay on my guard the whole fight, relying on my new combat strategies that I had been practicing. Sure enough, I was able to win with plenty of hearts to spare. The Vindicator even dropped a netherite ingot, which was the first step to the netherite sword that I'd need to defeat Mike. I quickly returned to the base to tell Fletcher the good news.
So, the swamplands are safe?
They sure are.
You mean that you found a netherite ingot, just like that?
I sure did. That's some kind of coincidence, huh?
It's no coincidence, it's a sign. You are meant to be the champion of the Order of the Shield. It's your destiny.
Well, in that case, I better make the most of this chance and get some diamonds so we can eventually make a netherite sword.
You can do it, Zozo.
From day 58 to day 62, I made a much-needed expansion to the chicken farm so that it could hold more livestock. It was just in time, too, because I was able to round up more chickens for food. An electric tiger's gotta eat to keep his energy up, and delicious chicken tenders are what's on the menu. Next, I delved down to the mining cave to have another look for the diamonds I would need to craft a diamond sword. I had to explore pretty deep, but soon enough, I managed to get my pickaxe into some diamonds. There's many diamonds here. I might believe in destiny after all. I mined for a while and found more than enough diamonds to make the diamond sword, which I planned on using as the foundation for the netherite sword I'd be making later. I used the rest of the diamonds to craft a diamond pickaxe and a full set of diamond armor for myself. Once I was satisfied with the amount of diamonds I had amassed, I returned to the surface of the base and met up with Windcaller. Hey, Windcaller, I've crafted a diamond sword.
That's excellent, Zozo. We should celebrate in the brand new super amazing party room that I just built.
Oh wow, no way! A party room! I love parties! While I had been down in the mines, Windcaller had given the base its most exciting feature yet, a decorated room for hosting parties. I tried out the dance floor and had a really good time. From day 63 to day 66, I was hanging out at the base with Fungus Thrower, discussing ways for me to become even stronger. If I could train in a new location, maybe I'd be able to discover some new fighting moves.
I actually know just the place. If you train in the harsh sunlight of the desert, you'll increase your strength in no time.
How do I find the desert?
I'll show you the way on your map.
The Fungus Thrower marked the desert as a location on the map I received from the fallen piglin brute. It looked like it was on the way to the biome where Mike's Fight Club could be found. I should get used to that path while I'm out there. I went to the desert and felt the sun beating down on me. This would be a good place to train, and I was in the mood for a fight with a scary opponent. Across the dunes, I saw one scary-looking wither skeleton. I moved towards him with my sword drawn, ready for battle. Hey you, wanna fight Zozo the electric tiger?
No thank you. I don't want to fight, especially not a tough customer like you.
Okay, I can respect that. We won't fight.
Did you think just because I'm scary looking that I'd want to fight? You really shouldn't judge people by their outward appearances.
Yeah, that was my bad. I'm very sorry about that, friend. Lesson learned.
It happens to me a lot, I'm afraid. Just the other day, a Zoglin tried to pick a fight with me. I told him, no, wait for a strong person who wants to fight.
Well, if that Zoglin wants a fight, I'll fight him. I came here to train anyway. From day 67 to day 70, the friendly wither skeleton brought me to meet the Zoglin, a dangerous opponent who was also looking for a challenging fight. The Zoglin agreed to fight me one-on-one so we could test each other's strength. Before the fight began, the wither skeleton took me aside so we could have a quick discussion.
Are you sure you can win, Zozo? I didn't mean to put you in danger.
I think I've got a chance, but thanks for being concerned.
No, thank you for fighting this battle for me.
That's what a strong person does. Now I'm gonna go kick some Zoglin butt. The fight between myself and the Zoglin was off to an exciting start when the Zoglin charged straight at me. I dodged his powerful tusks and hit with my sword while his back was turned. The Zoglin countered by hitting me with his tusks. I lost a few hearts, but I was still in the fight. I fired some energy blasts and used my signature lightning strike to deliver the last blow, defeating the Zoglin.
Zozo, you did it!
I am the Electric Tiger Zozo! Remember the name! From day 71 to day 74, I had completely left the desert behind and was traveling through a new biome, the Eroded Badlands. According to the Piglin Brute's map, this was the same biome where the entrance to Mike's Fight Club could be found. The map also says you can find more of my Zozo videos by searching ZO in the YouTube search bar. You should try it out. I followed the directions on the map further into the Eroded Badlands, and I could see Mike's Fight Club in the distance. Just you wait, Mike. I'll fight you one of these days.
I heard that, Zozo.
Suddenly, Mike was right next to me, and he was looking as strong as ever.
You shouldn't have said that, Sparkplug. Now I'm gonna give you a taste of my super special punch, the Mike Spike.
Oh no, I forgot that today is one of those days.
Mike Spike!
He punched me, and my heart started to deplete. Thank goodness I was wearing diamond armor. I drew my diamond sword and swung at him, but the damage it did was really low.
You're still weak, kitty cat.
No way! Will I need a netherite sword to even stand a chance? I ran away from the fight, retracing my steps through the eroded Badlands. I still wasn't strong enough to beat him. From day 75 to day 78, I followed the map home to my base and went directly into the bunker to work out. Somehow, I couldn't find the energy to train, probably because I was disappointed that I had to run away from Mike. Mike was the strongest in the world, and I still didn't have the netherite sword I would need to actually challenge him. From what he said before, even that might not be enough.
Cheer up, Zozo. You have our strength too, so don't give up.
It was Windcaller. He had come into the bunker to check on me and raise my spirits. Thanks, Windcaller. I'm feeling like I'm weak today, so I really needed to hear that.
Follow me. I'll show you something that might also help.
There was now a new watchtower at the front of the base where we could look out at the Baobab Savannah from. All of a sudden, I feel a whole lot better, Windcaller. Now I remember what I'm fighting for.
You are the champion, Electric Tiger Zozo. Don't forget it.
Now that I was feeling better, I went to go visit Fletcher. Hey there, Fletcher.
Zozo, I got you this special magic apple to help make you strong enough to face Mike.
Well, an apple a day, as they say. I scarfed down the apple and began to grow into an even bigger electric tiger with 60 hearts. In addition to bigger damage and more health, I could also perform a special whirlwind attack. Mike won't know what hit him. From day 79 to day 84, I was feeling strong and decided to go back to the eroded Badlands. This time, there was no sign of Mike, so I fought some skeletons to test my newfound strength. I wanted to prove to myself that I had what it takes to become the strongest. A nearby weaponsmith saw me defeat those mobs and thought that I was pretty cool, so he offered to upgrade my weapons. This is my chance to get a netherite sword.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just give me your diamond sword and your netherite ingots, and I'll take care of the rest.
I gave the weaponsmith what he needed and waited in anticipation for him to finish my super cool netherite sword. It didn't take him that long, and I could tell just by swinging it that this netherite sword was the most powerful weapon that I'd ever had. Thank you, weaponsmith. I promise to use what you've given me for the side of justice.
Go on and save the world. Every weaponsmith dreams of creating a hero's weapon.
From day 85 to day 89, I returned to the base to show the others that I had obtained the netherite sword and found that it was being attacked by whisperers.
So this is where you ran away to, coward? We're gonna make you feel real silly for leaving Mike in the middle of a fight.
I battled the whisperers with all my might, testing the edge of my netherite sword. These minions had given me trouble in the past, but now I was so much stronger than them that they were barely a threat. I easily defended the base and prevented any further damage to the structures.
Oh man, this guy is actually way too strong. Maybe I should leave this one to Mike. He'll know how to win.
Intimidated by my strength, the whisperers stopped fighting. It was now their turn to run away. Serves you right for trying to mess with my friends. You'll have to deal with this electric tiger now. I chased the whisperers through the Baobab Savannah until my base was far away. Never come back! A villager who saw me bravely face off against Mike's henchmen came over to cheer me on.
You're the electric tiger, the second strongest being in the world.
Soon to be the most strongest, or first strongest, whichever sounds better.
Do you think you can spare some of your strength and give me a hand building a bridge over the river?
Sure thing, villager. I used the materials the villager gave me to finish building the bridge across the river.
Thanks, Zozo. Only a truly strong hero could do something like that.
From day 90 to day 94, I continued onward across the desert and through the eroded Badlands until I saw on the map I was getting close to Mike's arena. I could see one of the whisperers who had attacked my base lingering nearby, and I drew my netherite sword in preparation for a battle. I'm here to see Mike. I'm going to challenge him for the title of strongest being in the world.
Oh, no you didn't. You're gonna need to get this guy first. He's the second strongest in the whole world.
An armored pillager showed up, taking the place of the whisperer as my opponent.
I've heard people say that you're the second strongest in the world. Not true, because that's me. I've never beaten Mike, but I'll beat anyone who isn't Mike.
You won't beat me. I'll take your title, then I'll take on Mike.
Then bring it on, Zozo the Electric Tiger.
The armored villager waited for me to make the first move, which I did, using my netherite sword. He blocked the attack and countered with a strike from his own weapon. I lost quite a few hearts and had to dodge back to avoid the worst of his attacks. I used my energy blast to keep him at a distance, but his armor was as tough as mine. You're pretty strong, pillager.
Are you ready to give up and run away?
No way. I'll never back down from a fight again. From day 95 to day 97, I continued to battle against the armored pillager, utilizing all my specially trained techniques to try and gain an advantage. Have another lightning strike.
I can handle your lightning strikes all the livelong days, Zozo.
We'll see about that. I circled around the armored pillager with my whirlwind attack and delivered sword strikes wherever I could. I was still having trouble cracking the second strongest fighter's armor, but I figured I could soften him up for a lightning strike if I just kept attacking. With my whirlwind active, I spun around and unleashed my lightning strike. With that attack, the pillager surrendered. The electric tiger defeated the armored pillager and became the true second strongest in the world.
No, I couldn't achieve my dream of becoming the strongest in the world.
Why did you want to become the strongest so bad? I'm doing it to protect my friends and myself from Mike.
It started that way for me too, but when I realized I would never win, I became his follower. All the people who believed in me before became sad and stopped being my friends, but they went on to form the Order of the Shield.
Wait, you were the original champion.
No, I was just the guy who tried to be a champion before there was a champion. You've got to be better than me, Zozo.
I will, armored pillager. I'll defeat Mike and become the strongest in the world, once and for all. On day 98, I went back to the base to tell everyone that I would soon be facing off against Mike for the ultimate title. I went to visit Windcaller first, who was standing at the top of the watchtower. Thanks to the strength you gave me at the start, I was able to become the champion that you always thought I could be.
It was like I said long ago. My strength was the foundation, but you built it into something better and made it your own.
Thank you for believing in me.
Here is a bit more of my strength in the form of a potion. Drink it before you go into battle.
Next, I met with Fletcher outside of the chicken farm. I wanted to assure him that once I was the strongest, I would use my strength to protect all of the biomes from evil.
Very soon, the world will be safe. I'm glad I was able to help your quest for strength, Zozo.
You gave me what I needed when I needed it most, and I'm so grateful that I was able to meet you.
Make the most of your magic powers. The special techniques will be the key to victory.
After Fletcher, there was only one last friend to thank, the fungus thrower, who was chilling in the party room.
This room is the best room. Other than a mushroom, of course. That's a fungus.
I look forward to hanging out after I beat Mike once and for all. It'll be a big celebration. On day 99, I made my way back to the eroded Badlands and saw the first glimpses of Mike's base. I approached, and there were the Whisperers waiting to stand in the way. Move aside, small fry. I'm here for Mike. You guys don't need to be involved. The Whisperers bolted for the hills, and I ran straight into Mike's base. On day 100, I walked into Mike's fight club with my netherite sword drawn. Mike, I'm here to fight. The big golem himself, Mike, appeared before me in order to fight.
Zozo the Electric Tiger, you fought all the other strong people in the world, and now you think you can steal my crown.
I do. I'm gonna make sure that you are put down for the count.
Lots of people have said that to me before, and I've beaten them all. I didn't get to be the strongest because I made excuses. I just kept fighting and winning.
But you didn't fight the Whisperers when they started going after the Order of the Shield. You didn't want a champion to fight you.
I don't care what those weaklings do or what fights they get into. All that matters is the fight between me and you. That's how it's always been, destined champion. Let's do this in a place worthy of this showdown.
Mike left, and I ran after him. He turned into his fighting arena. I followed him in when he hit at the entrance and slammed his golem fist into my body. It was the Mike Spike, his signature opening move. I drew my netherite sword and dealt some real damage to him for the first time. I followed up with a whirlwind and a lightning strike. Mike threw me across the fight club. Then he jumped and slammed onto me, dealing a lot of damage. He tried to attack again, but I hit him with an energy blast. He caught him off guard, and I was able to land a bunch of other energy blasts after. Then I remembered to drink up the strength potion Windcaller gave me. I felt much stronger now. As we stood there, swinging away at each other, hit after hit, I was wearing the golem down. Eventually, one of us fell. Mike actually dropped. Yes, Zozo the Electric Tiger wins! I had completed the 100-day challenge to defeat the strongest being in the world. I had won! On day 1, I spawned into the Amaranth Fields as a golden gorilla. Now it looks like I'm a gorillionaire. Well, a baby gorillionaire anyway. But I bet with my hard work, I can get bigger, stronger, and even shinier. My golden gorilla voice was a little too loud though, because it attracted the attention of someone who wasn't so nice. A strange green man in a crown emerged.
Wee-hee-hee! 'Tis me, the great and glorious Goblin King! All will bow to my excellence!
Oh, hi, Goblin King. Your Highness, I'm Zozo, the golden gorilla.
No! This simply won't do! You're too shiny! Nobody should be shinier than my crown!
I can't help how shiny I am, Your Highness, and I promise that I didn't mean to offend you.
I don't care what you mean! I'm the Goblin King, and what I want, I get! And you're gonna be a lot less shiny once my fully sick boys have beaten you senseless and buried you beneath the earth!
Suddenly, some ogres emerged and started stomping towards me. All I could do was run for my life and get out of there, but I could still hear the Goblin King's shrill voice behind me.
You can run, but you can't hide! We'll never give up, Zozo! Never!
I kept running until I couldn't hear him anymore. Guess I'm gonna need to topple the Goblin King if I want to get any peace around here. On day 2, I started exploring more of the Amaranth Fields. It's pretty nice out here, but I guess looks can be deceiving if the Goblin King and his ogres are running around here, and I've only got 10 hearts. I'd better find something to eat, and fast! Luckily, I stumbled on an apple tree. I used all of my baby gorilla strength to shake the apples down from the tree and gobbled them up. That really hit the spot. I love apples.
Good choice for your last meal then. Get it? Because you're dead meat, shiny boy.
I turned around and saw the Goblin King's ogres charging toward me. Uh-oh, I don't think I'm ready for a fight, but I guess I don't have a choice. They attacked me, and I tried my best to fight back, but they were way too tough for me, and there were so many of them. It's only my second day. It can't already be over for me. No!
Hang on, little gorilla. I've got this.
A gobber jumped into the fray, fighting off the ogres long enough for me to get away from them.
Follow me. Let's get you out of here before more of these jokers show up. By the way, my name's Greg.
I'm Zozo. On day 3, I followed the friendly gobber to his campfire. Thank you for saving me.
Don't sweat it, kid. Any enemy of the Goblin King is a friend of mine.
He hates me just because I'm shiny and golden.
Don't take it personally. That attention hog can't stand it if anyone else is special. That's why so many of us are trying to overthrow him. Everyone deserves to shine, not just that so-called king. Here, I got someone you should meet.
The gobber introduced me to a goblo sitting near the fire. I told the goblo that I was the Goblin King's latest target.
Tough luck, Zozo. Sorry to hear that, but you're in the right place if you want to end the Goblin King's regime. We've been working on it for quite some time, and I get the feeling you'll be a great help. You'll need to get a lot stronger first, though. Think you can do that?
Yes, I do.
That's what I like to hear. First things first, you're gonna need a base. Get to work building one. I'll send Greg along to help you out.
Thank you so much.
Don't ever let them dull your shine, Zozo.
From day 4 to day 5, I got to work building a base. Before I can build anything, I'll need some wood and some tools. I gathered enough wood to craft a wooden pickaxe, then used that pickaxe to gather some stone. Now I can use this to make a full set of tools. I'd better hurry up so I can build my base before it gets dark. I crafted a set of stone tools, and then it was finally time to build my base. A room for me and a room for Greg. There, looks pretty good. It's small, but I'll have time to build more later. Greg, come check out our new home.
Sweet digs, kid. I like it. Great place to hang my hat for a little while.
But you're not wearing a hat.
Well, if I get a hat, I'll have a place to hang it. Hey, kid, look out behind you.
I turned around and was jumped by a garch. This time, though, I had a sword to defend myself. I fought back and managed to defeat the nasty creature. Hey, I did it! Oh, I feel kind of funny. Suddenly, I grew bigger and I felt my hearts increase to 30. Awesome! I yelled with excitement and a blast of fire came out of my mouth.
Careful with that fire breath, buddy. Don't burn the house down.
Sorry. From day 6 to day 8, I took my new set of tools, improved strength, and super cool fire breath, and went out exploring. I traveled to the jungle, where I spotted a poor, innocent little Kato being attacked by a Shadowneer. Hey, cut that out! The Shadowneer didn't listen, so I had to make him listen with a blast of fire breath. He got pretty angry about being burned, but I had my sword ready to go, and we battled it out. The Shadowneer was tough, but I was tougher, and I managed to win the fight. You're safe now, little Kato.
Thank you. I've never met a hero like you before, but I'm afraid I'm still not safe. I was trying to run away from a bigger, badder monster when that Shadowneer attacked me. See, my house was invaded by a reaver. He kicked me out and said if I tried to come back, he'd kill me. Could you help me get my home back?
That's terrible. Of course I'll help. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the little Kato to his house, and sure enough, there was a huge, scary-looking reaver standing guard outside.
Hey, I told you to clear out of here. Maybe you didn't learn your lesson last time. Do I need to tell you again with more pain?
The only one who's gonna get hurt around here is you!
What? You're here to fight me? Ha! You're tiny, like a little gold statue of a gorilla. You don't scare me.
Well, maybe this will! I opened my mouth and shot a blast of fire breath at the reaver, but he didn't even flinch!
Oh, thanks. I was getting kinda chilly. Now it's my turn.
Uh-oh! He launched himself at me, knocking me back. He was way too strong! I don't think I'm ready for this fight. I'm so sorry, little Kato. We've gotta run. But I promise I'll come back and finish the job once I'm strong enough. I ran away as fast as I could, the little Kato right by my side. Until we get your house back, you can come stay at my base with me. From day 11 to day 12, I escorted the little Kato back to my base. I'll need to build another room, so he has somewhere to sleep. I got to work, and before long, I had added on a room for my new guest. Here you go. I hope you're comfortable here.
Thank you so much! I wanted to give you something in return for letting me stay here, but I didn't have anything with me, so I hope you don't mind, but I added something to your base. Come take a look!
He showed me a brand new storage hut.
I figured you could keep things in here. Weapons, I guess, or whatever you want.
It's great! Thank you! Now you get some rest. I've got more work to do.
Wait, before I do, are you the golden gorilla that the Goblin King is trying to get rid of?
I sure am.
Oh, I'm so sick of that Goblin King. He wasn't always in charge, you know. He came here a little while ago with an army of ogres and scared everyone into listening to him. No one even knows where he came from or if he's a real king at all.
No wonder he's so worried about being outshined. Thanks for the info, little Kato.
My name is Lyle, just by the way.
I'm Zozo. Nice to meet you. Lyle went off to take a nap, and I headed into a nearby cavern to do some mining. I gathered some iron ore, perfect for upgrading my gear. I used a furnace to smelt the ore into iron ingots and crafted an iron pickaxe and an iron sword. I still feel like the base is missing something. As I was brainstorming, I spotted a herd of sheep grazing nearby. Hey, sheep! Why don't you come live with me? I built them a sheep farm to live in and herded them inside. Not too bad, if I do say so myself. From day 13 to day 15, I was trying to come up with ideas on how to grow stronger. I decided to talk to Greg and get some advice. Hey Greg, I'm running out of time to get strong enough to defeat the Goblin King. What can I do?
Well, kid, when I want to get stronger, I get out of my comfort zone. Try going somewhere new, maybe fighting some new enemies. You'll never grow just staying in the same place all the time.
Great idea. I'll go back to the jungle. That was a pretty intense place. I traveled back to the jungle and started exploring the unfamiliar terrain. While I was walking, I spotted some familiar faces. The ogres! They were too strong for me before, but I think I'm ready to try again. Hey, remember me?
Hey, look! It's the Golden Gorilla! Let's get 'em, boys!
I opened my mouth and shot fire breath at them, engulfing them in flames.
Ouch! Where'd you learn to do that?
I didn't answer their question. I just drew my iron sword and attacked again. This time, they were the ones who weren't prepared. And one by one, I defeated them all. I did it! I did it! Hey, what's this? There was a health potion on the ground. They must have dropped this. Well, finders keepers. I drank the health potion, and right away, my hearts increased to 60. Woohoo! I was doing a victory dance when I accidentally shot a fireball. Hey, that's new. I'm on fire here. From day 16 to day 19, I followed Greg's advice and kept exploring. My journey took me all the way to the desert. It sure is hot out here. I wish I had a nice shady tree to sit under. Oh, and some coconuts. But instead of coconuts, I found a book. The Book of Information. Information about what? I guess I'll see. It says the Goblin King was once a lonely little goblin underling, the lowest of the low. One day, he had enough of being bossed around. He snuck up on the leader of his kingdom, destroyed him with a sneak attack, and stole his crown. Now, he lives in fear of being seen as the fraud that he is, and having someone take his place. Wow, I'd feel bad for him if he wasn't trying to kill me.
Get that gorilla!
I was suddenly ambushed by more of the Goblin King's ogres. But with my new fireball attack, they didn't stand a chance. I burnt them all to a crisp and vanquished them. Hey, I'm getting pretty good at this whole fighting thing. From day 20 to day 22, I traveled back home to my base. Time to go back into the mines and see if I can upgrade my gear some more. I entered the mine and quickly found some iron ore. After I smelted it into ingots, I was able to craft an iron chest plate. With my new attack, my new strength, and this armor, I think I can finally fight that Reaver. So I traveled back to Lyle's house, where that nasty Reaver was still stomping around like he owned the place.
Back for more. Can't get enough of the taste of defeat.
You can't just take people's houses. I'm going to show you what happens when you do. I hit him with a fireball, and this time it worked. It knocked him back. While he was recovering, I got my sword and rushed at the Reaver, swinging my blade as hard as I could. He attacked me, but I came back at him even harder. A couple of hits later, he was down.
Whee! Well, look at that! You're getting stronger, I see!
It was the Goblin King. He was watching me from behind a nearby tree.
I'll have to send stronger minions to get rid of you, it seems. No matter! I will! I always get what I want, you know!
Only because you sneak up on people. You'll never win in a fair fight.
Well, we'll have to sort out that, won't we? I have grand plans for your demise, Zozo! Such grand plans! Whee!
And with that, he disappeared. From day 23 to day 26, I ran back to my base as fast as I could. My encounter with the Goblin King had shaken me up a little bit, but I was still excited to give Lyle the good news about his house. Lyle! Guess what? The Reaver is finally gone!
Really? That's amazing, but...
Oh no, what is it?
It's just, I've been having so much fun staying here with you guys. Do you think I could keep living here instead?
Sure, stay as long as you want. With that settled, I ventured back into the mines to look for some more iron ore. After I found enough, I smelted it into ingots and crafted a new iron helmet and a pair of shiny iron boots. While I was trying on my new armor, Lyle came to see me.
Hey, Zozo. As a thanks for everything, I built a perimeter wall around the base to help keep us safe. So nothing like the Reaver attack ever happens here.
I went outside and checked it out. That's amazing. I feel safer already. From day 27 to day 31, I headed back out to the desert to continue exploring in the harsh climate. I was kicking around the sand, getting lost in my thoughts, when I saw something. A silver lobo sat under a palm tree.
Hey, you're the gold guy who beat up all those ogres.
I sure am.
Well, that was super neat of you. If you're still in a heroic mood, I could use some help. Any chance you have a place I could stay for a while? The Goblin King doesn't like how silver I am, and I'm scared he'll send more ogres after me.
He's doing the same thing to me for being gold. I'd be happy to help. Follow me back to my base. You can stay there. The silver lobo and I headed back to my base, and when we got there, I'd take a second to shear my sheep and gather some wool. Hey, this gives me an idea. I decided to hang some decorative banners on my base just to spice up the place. These really class up the place.
Sweet banners, kid, but sorry to interrupt. Goblo needs our help.
Who?
Goblo the Goblo. You met him when I saved you. Now it's your turn to help me save him. Quick, let's go.
From day 32 to day 35, Greg and I traveled back to the Goblo's campfire to see what was going on. When we got there, a whole horde of ogres was making a mess of the place. Goblo was way outnumbered. Goblo, we're here to help.
Oh, how sweet. Baby Gorilla thinks he can save his friend. Well, you're too late, loser.
I shot a fireball at them, destroying them in one hit. But when Greg and I rushed over to check on Goblo, he was already halfway gone.
Thank you for coming, boys, but I'm afraid they were too much for me. I don't have a lot of time left, Zozo. You can finish what I couldn't. Defeat the rest of the ogres.
I will. And just like that, Goblo was gone. From day 36 to day 39, I didn't want to go home after losing Goblo. I needed to get my mind off of things. So instead, I traveled to the jungle to look for some bad guys to fight, or someone to help. I just need something useful to do.
Are you talking to me?
there was a Rouge Tomato suddenly staring at me. No, I was talking to myself.
Well, could you be talking to me? If you're trying to be useful, I need some help.
Sure, what's going on?
Well, I need help taking on a rattlesnake near here. He's really messing up the neighborhood, kicking everybody out. I need some muscle to get him to lay off.
You got it. It didn't take me long to find the rattlesnake. He was hissing and pacing back and forth, looking for trouble. Well, he found it, and trouble was me. I took him out with a few quick fireballs and a finishing move with my sword. Your rattlesnake problem is all taken care of.
Thanks, you're a swell guy. Not like that freak in the crown who came through here earlier.
The Goblin King?
Yeah, that's him. Said he's trying to recruit new goons to help him get rid of some gold monkey or something. Sounds like a bad scene. And seems like the kind of guy who doesn't ever fight his own fights, but still wants to act like a tough guy. If you're not a fighter, just admit it to yourself. That's what I did, and it worked out.
Yup, thanks for the info.
Yeah, forget about it.
From day 40 to day 43, I left the friendly, but kinda weird, Rouge Tomato behind and walked back to my base. When I got there, Greg was waiting for me, and he looked excited about something.
Hey kid, I thought we could both use some cheering up, so I added some couches to the base for hanging out. And I was thinking, maybe we could invite some more friends to stay here with us.
Absolutely, the more the merrier.
Great, my other goblin friend should be here soon.
A little while later, Greg's friend arrived and settled in. Nice to meet ya. After a while, the Silver Lobo I helped out before came to find me.
You've already done so much for me, but could I ask for one more favor? I left my favorite book behind, and I can't go back and get it without being attacked by some really scary monsters. Could you go look for it for me?
I'll do my best to get your book back. We can put it on one of those shelves when I do. From day 44 to day 49, I trudged out to the desert to look for the Silver Lobo's book. I don't see any books, I just see a ton of sand. I don't like sand at all. It's so coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere. As I was digging through the sand looking for the book, the Goblin King ran up from behind me.
Whee! Tremble in fear! It's me!
I'm not scared of you.
Oh, but you should be! You think I'll only stop with your demise? No, silly Zozo! I'm going to get rid of everything shiny in this land! Every living thing that is silver, gold, diamond, that glitters and shimmers brightly! My crown will be the only shiny thing left, and then no one will doubt my authority as king!
Or you could try being a kind and just ruler?
Are you kidding me? That sounds terrible! Sorry, Zozo, but I have to run! Bear with me!
What?
Sorry, I misspoke! I have a bear with me! Enjoy fighting my bear! Bye!
The Goblin King ran off, and a massive, hulking grizzly bear ran in! From day 50 to day 53, I faced off against the Goblin King's mighty grizzly bear. The grizzly bear charged at me. I fought back with a fireball and jumped out of the way before he could scratch me with his claws. But the bear was tough, and he came at me again. This is my hardest fight yet. It was difficult, and the bear was much bigger and stronger than me, but I was better at dodging. And I had fire powers that most bears don't have. And all of that helped me win in the end. Phew, that was a close one. I'm glad I made it. Ooh, sparkly. The grizzly bear dropped a diamond on the ground during the fight. I should take it with me. I bet I'll need it later. From day 54 to day 57, I continued my search for the Silver Lobo's book. She said there were scary monsters involved, but I haven't seen anything but sand. And that bear, but that wasn't normal for this place, I'm pretty sure. Finally, I happened upon a specter. I don't think it's that scary, but I bet that's what she's talking about. Hey, did you take someone's book? The specter didn't answer me. It just started attacking. Well, I guess that's your answer. Fireball! I blasted the specter with a fireball, and I totally vaporized it. Sure enough, it dropped the book. What's this book about, anyway? Seems like a lot of trouble for one little book. Oh, it says my diary on it. No wonder she wanted it back. I ran back to my base and delivered the book to the Silver Lobo.
Thank you, thank you, thank you! You're the nicest golden gorilla I've ever met. Not that I've met any others. There used to be more of you, I've heard. And other gold creatures. But the Goblin King has been getting rid of them ever since he took the throne. It's just terrible.
Well, I can't let him get away with it anymore. From day 58 to day 62, I expanded my sheep pen to make room for even more sheep. There, now you guys can spread out a bit more and have some room to roam. They didn't say anything back, but I think they were happy about it. Next, I returned to the mines. The diamond the bear dropped got me thinking. I want to craft some diamond gear. I gathered some diamonds and used them, along with the diamond the bear dropped, to craft a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword. Now I'm even shinier than ever. Take that, Goblin King. When I climbed back out of the mines and went back to my base, Greg was waiting for me.
Welcome back, kid. Since we've got more folks staying with us now, I took the liberty of letting them invite even more friends over. Hopefully you don't mind.
Of course I don't mind. You know what I say, the more the merrier. From day 63 to day 66, I tried to decide where to go next. I need to keep getting stronger so I can stop the Goblin King from carrying out his evil plans. What should I do next?
Zozo, I just got a letter from my friend in the lush tundra. She said that there is some kind of dangerous creature out there making trouble, and it might be working for the Goblin King. If you play your cards right, you could get fighting experience and some information, all at the same time.
Wow, that's like getting two things with only one thing. Awesome! I traveled to the lush tundra, and a huge warped toad leapt into my path. Uh-oh, this must be the creature making trouble. I got my sword ready and was taking a deep breath to unleash some fire on the toad when she spoke.
Wait, no! I'm Alex, Lyle's friend. I'm the one who asked for your help. You're Zozo, right?
Oh, sorry, my mistake. So if you're not the one I'm here to fight, who is? From day 67 to day 70, Alex the warped toad led me to the danger she had told me about, a warped Moscow hovering menacingly above the ground.
There it is! Think you can help?
I sure do. Time to squash that bug.
Be careful! That's one mean Moscow!
I listened to Alex's warning, and I approached the warped Moscow slowly. But as soon as it saw me, it started buzzing aggressively and swooped at me. I had to dodge and counter with a fireball. The warped Moscow couldn't get away in time, and the fireball hit it, knocking it down. I took my chance to finish it off right then and there. I did it! Your Moscow troubles are over, Alex.
Thank you so much! Lyle wasn't kidding! You really are a hero!
I'm just trying my best. I only hope I'm going to be enough of a hero to take on the Goblin King. From day 71 to day 74, I decided to explore the lush tundra a bit more. I already came all the way out here, I might as well get a good look. As I was exploring, I spotted a sign that spelled out Z-O-Z. I didn't know what that means, but it's almost my name. That reminds me, if you want to see more Zozo videos, you can find them by searching Z-O-Z-O. I arrived in a new part of the lush tundra and saw a chest there. Oh, I wonder what's inside. When I opened it, there was nothing in there. Oh, that's disappointing.
Wee-hee-hee-hee! Sorry to see you so sad, Zozo! Just kidding! I love to see you sad! Hee-hee-hee! You'll never beat me!
I was so angry, I shot a fireball at the Goblin King, but he dodged it and attacked me. He was still way too strong for me to fight him and win. Just you wait. I'll get stronger, and then you'll know how it feels to lose. I didn't want to, but I had to get out of there. From day 75 to day 78, I ran all the way back to my base. When I finally got there, I was so mad that I locked myself in my room. I can't believe I had to run away like that. I'm such a loser. I heard someone outside of my room, and when I went to check, the Silver Loba was standing there.
Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to show you something. I've been heading on to the base. Want to come look?
Okay. I followed her, and she led me to a new watchtower. You built this for me?
I wanted to cheer you up. It'll help keep us all a lot safer, in case the Goblin King tries anything sneaky.
That's so great. Thank you. I feel better already.
I've also got something that might help, too.
Greg came over and handed me a novelty hat.
It's silly, but I told you a home is a good place to hang your hat. So, I got you a hat.
When I put the hat on, I felt a lot better and stronger too. Before I knew it, my hearts increased to 100. I jumped for joy, and I jumped way higher than usual. Whoa, a jump boost! Thank you so much! From day 79 to day 84, I ventured back out into the lush tundra to look for the Goblin King. Now that I'm stronger, I want to try and fight him again. I looked all over, but didn't see him anywhere. I did see some Black Death though. Close enough for now. Still an evil force I can test out my new strength on. I fought the Black Death and beat it easily. When I did, I was approached by a grateful rat.
Ooh, that was very impressive fighting. I couldn't help but notice your shiny diamond sword. Someone dropped this, and I picked it up to keep. But I think you should have it. Here!
The rat gave me diamond leggings. This This is perfect! From day 85 to day 89, I took my new diamond leggings and traveled back home to my base. When I got there, I was shocked to see ogres stamping all over the place, tearing it down. No, get out of here!
Oh no! Did you think we wouldn't find you? Smash, 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 smash the whole place to bits!
I shot a fireball at the ogres, and they ran off into the fields. No you don't. I chased after them as fast as I could. As I was pursuing the ogres, a rat jumped in front of me.
Quickly, could you tell me the way to the lush tundra? My cousin lives there.
I pointed him in the right direction.
Thanks, you're a pal.
With another good deed done, I continued my chase. From day 90 to day 94, I tracked the ogres all the way to a castle. This must be Goblin King's palace. I'd better not get too close. I'm sure he's got guards all over the place. I'll focus on these jokers for now. I decided to shoot a fireball at the guard at the castle entrance. That's what you get for messing with my home.
Ouch! Get a boss!
Is the Goblin King here?
No, he won't dirty his hands fighting you, little gorilla. That's my job.
A plague beast emerged and came running at me. He attacked me before I could do anything, and the blow knocked me back. Uh-oh, this guy is really strong. This won't be easy. From day 95 to day 97, I continued my battle against the plague beast. It was, by far, my most dangerous fight yet. I've got to make it through this. I can't let the Goblin King win.
He's already won, fool! There are only a handful of days left before his army will sweep the land, imprisoning any that dare to try to outshine the king!
No! I won't let that happen! I used my jump boost to jump out of the way of his next attack and blasted him with a fireball. Then I came at him with my diamond sword and finally turned the tide of the fight. I was going to win! For my final attack, I jumped high and hit him where he least expected it.
It seems I underestimated you. Perhaps you will win after all, if you can best the Goblin King himself in a one-on-one fight, that is.
I will, no matter what. I'm going to do whatever it takes to defeat the Goblin King once and for all. And just like that, the Plague Beast was defeated. On day 98, I returned to my base with a renewed sense of purpose. This golden gorilla is going to win! I just know it. I've come a long way, and I know I still have room to improve, but I feel like a real hero now. Brighter, stronger, and shinier than ever. First, the Silver Lobo spoke to me.
You are Zozo. Here, take this health potion for help on your quest. I believe in you. We all deserve to shine, and you shine brighter than anyone I've ever met.
That means a lot. Thank you. And then, Greg.
Hey kid, I'm proud of you. Don't leave without your hat, okay?
I would never. And finally, Lyle.
Remember, the Goblin King only wins fights by sneaking up on people. Don't let him sneak up on you, and you'll be able to defeat him.
Thank you for believing in me. I'll try my best. On day 99, I set off on my journey to the Goblin King's castle. I passed through the lush tundra on my way and remembered my success there. I was able to help so many people, and if I can pull this off, it'll help so many more. Finally, I reached the castle. It was crawling with ogre guards. I'll never get through all of them without the Goblin King finding out I'm here. If he does, he'll be able to sneak up on me. As I was trying to come up with a plan, Alex, the warped toad, jumped out of hiding and started attacking the ogres. Alex, you came to help me.
We toads believe in reciprocity. You helped me, I help you. Now get inside and finish this.
Alex led the ogres away, and I began to sneak into the castle. On day 100, I crept my way into the castle. That's where I saw the Goblin King looking at horses. I thought about attacking him, but I realized that would be wrong. I'm not like him. I want a fair fight. Hey, stop horsing around.
What? What's happening? Oh, wee! Zozo, I see! You've come to my palace to turn yourself in?
No, I'm here to fight you, fair and square. No tricks.
A Goblin King always has a few tricks up his sleeve.
Suddenly, he turned invisible, and I lost sight of him. Uh-oh, he's somewhere in here, trying to sneak up on me. I listened carefully, and when I heard him moving, I used my jump boost to jump out of the way of his ambush. Ha! Gotcha! I spotted him and launched a fireball at him. It hit!
Ow, ow, ow! No! You're not supposed to be so good at this! I'm supposed to win! I always win!
Not anymore! I attacked with my sword next. He fought back, but I was stronger than him. I had learned how to defeat the forces of evil, and after a difficult fight, I finally did! The Goblin King crown fell on the floor at my feet. If I were like you, I'd take this. But I don't want to be king. I just want to go home and hang out with my friends. I'm ending this reign of terror, here and now. And with one last fireball, I finished him off. It was finally over! I did it! Time to go home, hug my friends, and take a well-deserved nap. From now on, things are gonna be good as gold.